Hello, 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 hello. Plenty of hellos. How are you getting on, guys? Welcome to the TraxionGG channel for another live stream. And today is another nostalgia trip because we love nostalgia trips. There's plenty of great sim racing titles out there right now that are enjoyable, have their own flaws, their own positives. But there's nothing quite like jumping back in an old game that you used to enjoy and reliving some of the experience, because it's not always what you expect it to be. Sometimes it exceeds expectation and you go, wow, this game was actually really, really ahead of its time and great. And there are other occasions, of course, where, let's just say, that doesn't quite happen and it's a little bit sad. But anyway, how are we all getting on? I've got lots of people in the chat already. We've got Thierry, who's been here since before we started. Hey Thierry, how's it going? We've got Arnav back again. Great to see you again. Really enjoyed having you along for the last stream. Something a bit different this time. Cactus is here as well. Big fan of Project Cars, and you still play Project Cars 2, which is great. A very, very popular sim for a number of reasons. This game was only 2 years before Project Cars 2. So this is popular for different reasons. Who else have we got here? We've got Cubby or Kubi as well. How's it going? Random Racer. And Edofi. Nice. Hopefully you guys are having a nice afternoon. Of course, next week is Le Mans Ultimate version 1.0 week, which is exciting. And of course, Project Motor Racing is coming later this year too. And basically, the reason I'm not playing Le Mans Ultimate today is because we're obviously going to be talking a lot about Le Mans Ultimate in the coming weeks. So I thought, let's do something different. And the reason we're playing Project Cars, the original, is because of Project Motor Racing, because it's coming later this year. And also, it's been 10 years since Project Cars launched. I think it was May 2015. So, you know, nothing beats a good anniversary as an excuse to jump back into an old game. We're not going to play around too much. Well, what I mean by that is I'm not going to keep chatting nonsense to you guys for too long. We're going to get into the game because you guys will want to see the game. So, I'm going to launch it. Right. We'll mute the music. And as soon as this game starts loading in, I will get you guys in. Here we go. That was a very anticlimactic black screen. This should work in just a second. There it is. And I believe we're going to have like the little intro video first. Now, I will, throughout the stream, give you a bit of context as to my experience with Project Cars and also my history with Project Cars 2 and things like that, because it's relatively long and storied, let's say. Now, I don't actually know if we've got any audio for this little video at the start. Doesn't really sound like we do. Oh, no, we do. It's just very, very quiet. Yeah, you guys won't be able to hear that at all. Let me just bump the noise up. And then I definitely just turn it back down. Hopefully this isn't horrendously loud. I don't really remember the intro video that well for this game. Oh, yeah, Michael, soundtrack, 100%. I'm gonna, like, it's tricky because I can't really leave the music on too loud without the stream getting done for copyright. But if I talk over it, it's probably okay. But yeah, there's this kind of, like, orchestral kind of build-up song that with a kind of opera singer. And I think you can probably hear it now underneath me. And it certainly, yeah, puts me back in time a little bit. The menus are very, very epic. Oh, yeah, there we go. Again, hopefully you can hear this at an okay volume. I'm probably going to get demonetized for this section, but if I am, it's fine. We'll just remove it from the final stream after it's done. Oh, it's so epic. So epic. Arnav, I don't know where you can find it these days. I think, well, actually, it's been delisted, hasn't it? So I don't think you can find it these days. I've got it because I bought it a long time ago. It's in my Steam library. It was delisted quite a long time ago from memory. It's a bit of a long and painful and sad state of affairs, really, with how Slightly Mad got acquired by Codemasters, and then Codemasters got acquired by EA, and then EA have kind of locked it away. But yeah, have a look around Arnav just in case you can find it. I'm a little confused because the game seems way quieter on my... I'm using OBS to stream, and the volume levels seem a little bit quiet compared to what I'd expect, so maybe it's just really loud when you actually get into the cockpit, so I need to be a bit careful. Anyway, let's take a wee look around, shall we? What I'm going to do, instead of having the menu music, which I absolutely love and is a big part of the nostalgia, because of the copyright issues, I am just going to, unfortunately, mute it. But, guys, go and find the soundtrack for this game, because it's on the internet, it's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure, and, yeah, I mean, it's so epic. And I think racing games need a little bit of, like, what's the word? Joie de vivre, I don't know. They need a little bit of something. They need a bit of opera. They need a bit of theatre, don't they, to really get this sort of excitement going and get the atmosphere building in the menus. A lot of racing games menus are, and real gaming in general, to be honest, a lot of menu design, especially these days, can be quite kind of stagnant and a bit, I don't know what the word is, but sometimes a bit robotic or, I don't know. But music is such a big part of it. Hopefully we'll just take it down a little bit and it should be fine. Right. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit quiet, Kubi. I don't know what's going on. It seems like I already volume matched the audio of the car sounds to be about right, so I don't know why the music was super quiet and the intro and stuff. But anyway, we'll see. So as you can see here, I've actually fired up the game. I've got my controller working, so we shouldn't take too long faffing about here. But I haven't actually started anything in terms of the career mode or anything like that. So the idea was to basically explore this with you guys together and remind ourselves of what the experience of playing this game is like. Also, hello, David. Hello, Dave. The return of all the Daves and Davids. Love to see it. How are you guys getting on? Hope you're all good. I've also had a question to rate GT7 out of 100. I'll come back to that, Savage Gamer. I'll come back to that, but it's probably going to be somewhere in the low 80s. Okay. Right. Create a driver. I'm just going to bump the audio up for the menus, and I'll just need to remember to take it back down again when we actually jump in the car. But we've got like a kind of narration going on here. And I remember the career mode at Project Cars being all about like building through the series from the beginning to the end, starting in go-karts if you want to, going through Clios and stuff like that, and making your way to Formula 1 or going for GTs and stuff. Okay, we're not going to listen to every single little tutorial, but here we go. So I'm going to create my name. We're going to go with John Monroe. And we will go with @WMD TraxionGG. Is Scotland a country? A nationality? Nope, United Kingdom, that's fine. Car number. Okay, and as you can see, and this is something that is going to be... Project Motor Racing has a really interesting sounding career mode. Now, obviously, we haven't seen too much of what it's going to be, but we've seen little snippets. And it's going to be kind of based around the idea of like sponsorships and being able to choose different objectives and things like that. Sorry, every time I click off, the audio goes off. So it's going to be about like not just progressing through championships and winning them to unlock the next championship. It's going to be about buying a car, picking a sponsorship package, and then trying to reach your sponsorship goals and objectives to earn money to be able to compete in more series and keep your career going, essentially. And I really like the idea of that. Now, Project Cars was a little bit more of the, you know, play through a championship and then, you know, try and get through that way. So we've got like different historic goals we can pick between here. Hang on a second. Did I not have to pick one there? Let me go back. Let me back! No, don't exit to desktop. Hang on a minute. Can I not get back to the menu without... Okay, so I thought I was going to have to pick a one of the three things there, but I didn't know it was I had to do it then. But basically, you can pick a championship to start in. So you can start in Kart 1, and it's different tiers. I'll hide my face so you can see. But we go from Kart 1, Tier 8, through to Superkart Tier 7. And then you can also start from Tier 6 or 5, and then you've got different directions you can go. So it's kind of interesting, because at the top, you've got like the Formula tiers. you've got the GT cars in the middle, so your GT4, 3, and Endurance Series. Something is slightly something funky is happening here because I've got some strange UI menu noises, so something's a little bit messy. But yeah, I think I'll start with the Clio's Thierry because I remember the Clio racing in this game being really, really good. So if we're going to relive this career, I think we should start in the Clios.
A team is interested in hiring you as a driver. Take a look at and sign the contract so we can begin.
Okay. So we've got our contract offering points, let's say. So we've got Rockford Rennsport as one offer. We've got Valor Racing as another. These are a British and Italian team from the 70s racing in the Clios. You've got a little message from the team owner describing a little bit about the team. So Rockford Rennsport has been a competitor in Renault UK Clio Cup for over 38 years and a strong heritage of family and openness. That sounds good. With our engineering team already hard at work on further improvements to our Clio Cup, we believe we have a strong chance of success. So yeah, it's maybe a little bit generic. It probably doesn't make much difference to your performance, but it's a nice little touch. You feel like you join a team that actually speaks to you, right? So the other one is Valor. We believe Valor is a strong position to reach great success with our all-new Clio Cup, and all the more so with you at the wheel. We hope you consider our offer. Well, I like the idea of Rockford because I like the strong heritage, the family connection, the openness. They've made a bit more effort to try and sign me. So we're going to sign with Rockford Rennsport. And now we're getting a little Clio intro video. I don't remember this part. Oh no, I do remember this.
A one-make series featuring the Renault Clio. This is a single series sport, and races take place on tracks across the UK. Each round features 2 races. All race finishers will...
Okay, every time there's something a bit funky happening where every time I click off to get the chat up, it freezes the it freezes the game.
The pit lane is open for repairs and tire changes, but no refueling is allowed during qualifying or races.
Okay, so we get a little preview of what the series is all about. Of course, as someone who used to watch the Renault Clio Cup all the time, I kind of know what the racing's all about. And here you can see a lot of things that are now used to inspire many modern games. And obviously it wouldn't have necessarily been the first one to do these things, but you've actually got like a fan chat, which is, I guess, a social media feed, which in 2015, I mean, social media was already big in 2015, don't get me wrong, but it's still something that's, you know, just as relevant today, let's say. It's not Instagram or Twitter or anything, but it is just fan chat. And it's got, you know, messages from people with pictures and hashtags and ats and everything. So great. Oh, look. Jonotron XXX is tempted to buy a Traxion t-shirt. There you go. I'm going to take a look at some of the comments before we dive to any further. Yeah, the Formula Golf 1000, great open wheeler. You're right, Neil. I think I'm just going to play it by ear today. I might do a little bit of career mode and remind ourselves how that works, but I don't want to be just doing one type of racing, so it may be that I back out of career and do some kind of quick races in some of our favourite cars. Okay, the music just went very loud all of a sudden. I am gonna mute the music just so I don't have this issue where it's kind of switching on and off at some point. Okay, so we've got our dashboard for career. Now, actually, can we quit career? Yeah, we can quit career now. So I will make those settings changes real quick. We're going to take the music down, I'm afraid, guys. And we're going to go with stuff that's not going to get me struck off for copyright. Okay. So yeah, we've got different game modes, quick race, free practice. You've obviously got the career, which we're going to go into. There is online as well, but I doubt there's going to be much happening. In fact, if we go in there just to check real quick, there are 3 lobbies, but none of them have anybody in them. So, hey, there is something happening. You can do quick races and free practice. You can also do time trial and leaderboards, which is cool, or quick random, which is great. So we will look into all of that. I kind of wanted to go over these 3 historic goals. But actually, looking at this, you can't actually pick a historic goal. It tells you which tier, like depending on what tier you start in, what goal you go for. So that was, I should have basically read it before clicking. I didn't realize it was going to jump to the next page. So essentially, by starting in a certain tier, you're kind of committing to a historic goal, like 0 to hero, defending champ, or triple crown. So yeah, it's just something a little bit different. But we've obviously, you know, when I played this on my own back in the day, I went 0 to hero, but we're going to jump in the Clios because the racing's amazing. But yes, so going back to the comments, we've got Savage Gamer says rate GT7 out of 100. Yeah, I went with like I would go like an 81 or something because it is an incredible engineering masterpiece of a racing game. You forget how well it runs, how smooth it is, how amazing it looks. The car collection is insane. The number of cars and the detail is phenomenal. Lots of things we blast other games for, it does superbly. I can't really give it higher than like an 85 or a 90 or anything, simply because, well, two reasons. One, I think the progression system and the way the offline mode works is uninspiring compared to previous Gran Turismo games. I just don't think it's very engaging. And the gameplay loop is not super exciting. And also the handling of the cars, as much as it's great that it's accessible and you can play it on a controller and with a wheel, I do find some of the cars not very enjoyable to drive. So there you go. Just catching up as well. Good to hear, Dave. Yeah, mental week for me as well. Lots of stuff to be getting on with. Just back from a little trip to Oban, which was lovely, a little holiday. But it's been good. And Michael, yes, I'm sure we will do a review of Project Motorsport once we get our hands on it, for sure. Once the game launches, we will be covering it on the Traxion channel, the website as well. Monkey Bones asks, how difficult is it to set up force feedback with modern wheelbases in this game? I've got the Simucube 2 Pro, and it worked absolutely fine. I just went with custom steering wheel setup. Just assigned the buttons for my wheel, for the pedals. It worked seamlessly. So, yeah, absolutely fine. Okie dokie. I realized as well that I've... Just take that audio down again. Sorry, I realize I'm talking to myself. I'm just trying to work out what on earth I was doing with the audio before, because I've changed everything around because the game was so quiet. But I think we're good now. I think we're good. Okay. Shall we... I'll keep an eye on the comments as well, but shall we get racing? I'm really intrigued to talk about the handling, the look of the game and stuff as well. Okay, so contract offers come in here. Here's our email from John Bentley to welcome us as our lead driver as well. And Ronnie Marshall's our race engineer, so he's going to be making sure we've got everything right. We can view our results in another tab here. Driver standings, things like that. We can watch motorsport video, so that's like the Clio Cup introduction video. And it also gives you, this is great, so there's an overview here that gives you a roundup of how the championship works. So we'll practice qualifying 2 races. And the grid, I remember this, the grid placement for race 1 is qualifying time, but race 2 is the driver's second best lap in qualifying. And it's all standing start, pit lane's open, but there's no mandatory stop, no refueling, and a bonus point for the fastest lap, or 2 bonus points for each race. So, great little insight there. You've got car setups, which I think an engineer can actually help you with. There's our livery for the season by the looks of it. And then we've got our calendar where the racing actually happens. So, there are also invitational events that happen when you play through Project Cars career mode from memory. But the first round of the championship is Season 1 April, I believe. Yeah. And obviously so as you complete events and you unlock things and you, I guess, level up in some way, you also unlock certain invitational events throughout the year, I'm pretty sure. So here we go. Round 1 of a 5-round championship, Donington Park. Let's just do should we do qualifying? Just to get basically a feel for the car for 1 or 2 laps, and then we'll jump straight into a race. So we can simulate to qualifying. Opponent skill, somewhere between 0 and 100. I reckon we start on like 95 and then get truly embarrassed and see where we end up. And we'll keep it very low in terms of session length to the minimum, basically. So yeah. Simulate to the qualifying. Hey, Filippo's back as well. Nice to see you. It is, yeah. Old games always bring back good memories. I love it. Let's try qualifying on 95% AI. Let's see how ridiculously overpowered or underpowered they are. Because I always tend to not get it right straight away. Some really interesting comments about the karts. Because I quite like the karts, but I guess it's because, for me, the karts were like the first thing I got stuck into, right? Okay. let's just get straight out on circuit then. So look at the grid. We've got 20 cars, John Munro at the back. Appropriate name for Renault Clios, let's say. We're going to get out on circuit. Now, just let me know if the audio and everything sounds balanced. It should be now. I think I've got it back to what I had before. Sorry for all the confusion with all the audio cutting in and out and music and stuff. It's basically just when I was trying to fix a problem on the fly, it was I was creating more problems for myself. Here we go. So obviously front-wheel drive Clio. I've got all the assists off, manual gears. Understeer. And there's the lift-off oversteer straight away as I tried to carry a little bit too much speed through the craners. Now, handling on project cars massively, massively splits opinions. And it always has done, because it isn't the most realistic simulation-based handling model out there. It never has been. I'm getting a lot of oversteer into the corners. It's never been like the pinnacle of realism, right? And it's the same, obviously, with Project Cars 2. There's certain traits that always bothered me, regardless of the realism of the handling. There was also, you know, the weird curb behavior and all of these kind of things. But hear me out, because there is certainly a place in the world for a Project Cars-esque handling model. Project Cars 2 basically just worked on Project Cars 1. Because even though it's not, you know, the most super realistic in terms of the car behavior doing exactly what you'd expect and the way that the physics actually work, it is close enough, and it does feel like you can get into a natural rhythm with it and drive the cars in a way that you would in real life to get the lap time out of them. Now, there are tricks to going faster on Project Cars that don't work on hardcore sims that wouldn't work in real life, so you can exploit lap time like that. But it's kind of, for me, it bridges the gap between like an authentic feel and accessibility. So I guess it kind of does what something like a Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport does, but I would say this is closer towards trying to be more of a sim, whereas those games are deliberately trying to kind of, you know, sit in the middle, if that makes sense. Yeah, I remember racing against... So I actually raced against... So yeah, sorry, I've seen the comment about James Baldwin coming from Project Cars, and it's going to get me off on a tangent, but I will get there, because I do have quite a bit of experience on mainly Project Cars 2, but Project Cars 1 was actually the game I played by far and away the most at the time at home, because it came out in 2015, and I went to uni in 2016, at the second half of 2016, so I actually had a year and a half playing Project Cars at home before going to uni, and when I went to uni I didn't have a rig, so I didn't play Project Cars 2 at home at all. So I had a lot more game time on Project Cars back in the day. So I did kind of get into the rhythm of it, but I was always playing single player. I never really did online racing on Project Cars. And then on Project Cars 2, I got a lot more experience, because even though I was at uni and I didn't have a rig at home, I worked in VR simulators in Glasgow, which is a virtual reality sim centre in the centre of Glasgow. And they ran Project Cars 2 when I worked there. So essentially I spent a couple of years running people that were going to VR simulators in Glasgow on Project Cars 2, so inevitably I got a lot of seat time as well on Project Cars 2, just setting up the rigs and testing things and jumping on when there was no customers, stuff like that. So I do have a lot of time on that game. And then, you know, through that I ended up racing in a few esports competitions, and I definitely raced against James Baldwin at the Autosport show for a competition once as well, because we were both set lap times on a leaderboard and ended up getting into the finals, and I think that's how I won my Logitech G29. So there's you know, Project Cars has given, let's say the Project Cars franchise has given me a lot, so I am always grateful to it for that. Now I think the handling has aged to a degree, especially, you know, when I jumped on Project Cars 2 again recently. I was like, okay, I'm getting so used to your iRacing and LMUs and R Factor 2 and ACC and all these things that I basically jumping back on Project Cars 2 again, I kind of realised the difference. But it's also what you're used to. I'm locking up into there. You can see it punishes mistakes badly. I've set 2 qualifying laps, so we're going to leave it at that. And I'm actually on pole by 2 seconds, so we're going to definitely up the AI. But yeah, Michael's hit the nail on the head for me. I think it was promoted as like a focus simulator, so then when people are comparing it to the hardest core, that's not a phrase, to the most hardcore sims out there, it falls short on certain things with the physics, but it's a really enjoyable sim for a lot of people, and there are definitely things about it that make it authentic, and I can completely understand why a lot of people jump to the defense of this game when it gets slammed, because it works really well. It's very pick up and play. The performance is great. The visuals have always looked good. There are loads of different car and tracks. It had a career mode. You know, there was lots and lots of things going for the Project Cars series as well. So it's yeah, it's really interesting. Mick, what's the sim you had the most fun playing? I mean, that's a really difficult question because it changes for me over the years, and I've been doing this for a long time. My favorite ever racing game was Gran Turismo 4, but in terms of hardcore sims, I spent a long time enjoying sim racing, league racing on R Factor. Probably more so than I enjoyed my time on iRacing, but I really like both. And then recently, ACC was the king for me for 2 years, 3 years maybe, and then recently LMU's taken over as my favorite go-to sim. So yeah, it changes over the years. But obviously Project Cars 2 was the best when it was all I was playing when I was working in the Sim Center. So there you go. We're going to skip to the end of qualifying, see how close everyone gets, but I think we're just going to up it to maximum difficulty. And I do remember, by the way, guys, the AI cars in Project Cars and the racing in the career mode, especially in something like the Clios, was really exciting and fun, and I always had a great race. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the difficulty's high enough that we can have a good one. Skill issue. They call me Project Cars because I got the hardest core. Yeah, exactly. The hardest core sims is not a good phrase, let's say. Okay, and I think Studio Productions, that they never put hypercars in ACC because ACC is the official game of the SRO GT World Challenge. So they would need to expand the SRO roster for them to be able to put those cars in ACC. It'd be a bit like why you're saying why does the Formula 1 game not have hypercars in it, because it's obviously a focused game. So there you go. Right. A lot of you showing your love for this career mode, which is great. A lot of nostalgia going on. I'm sure lots of you watching this will have never played this game as well. Maybe you're not old like me and have been doing this for a long time, and maybe for you guys, you've only been sim racing for the last 5 years, and Project Cars is a game you've never even played. So hopefully you'll be able to see something from this as well. Right. Continue to race 1. Can we change the difficulty, or do we have to exit to change the difficulty? Let's say, should we save the result? Doesn't really matter, does it? I'll say yes. Let's see if I can change the difficulty or if I've locked in. Oh, see you guys doing the work for me. Hit that like button. Thank you for... I never ask... I never remember to ask people. Thank you, though. Yeah. Much appreciated. Yeah, ACC is very focused on it. Mainly, like, to be honest, GT3 is the main thing, but obviously they've opened that up to other SRO series, so that includes GT4 and things as well. Right, we'll go in and see if we can change the difficulty. Yes, we can. So we'll go to 100. We'll keep the races really short, just to keep us moving through this. 4 o'clock start. We're going to be on pole for the first race, and probably, I think I did 2 laps, so I might be on pole for the second race. We'll have to see. Yeah. They've also obviously got lots of other, other championships like the Ferrari Challenge, Lamborghinis, the BMW M2, and all these kind of things, but it's all SRO focused, I guess. Okie dokie. There is also a thing on Project Cars, if I remember correctly, unless this is, I think it's Project Cars 1, where if you go into the tuning setup, there's like you can use your engineer essentially to give you bits of feedback. Maybe I should have gone in during the qualifying session, but I think, is there not like a virtual engineer that actually says, oh, try, if you're, you click whether you're understeering or oversteering, and it says try this or try that? Or am I thinking of Project Cars 2? I think it's Project Cars 1. Oh, it's Project Cars 2. Okay. I have a memory of that thing. I just honestly couldn't remember which of the 2 games. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Apologies, false alarm. But you can obviously change setups, which is great. Okay, pole position for race 1. We've upped the difficulty to maximum. Let's see how we get on in this race. Can we run away at the start? It's only 2 laps.
Enjoy the ride and bring it home.
Oh, great. Nobody saw anything. Nothing happened.
This is the first race of your career. Remember one thing. To finish first, you first have to finish.
I heard the beep of the engineer speaking, and I thought it was the green light. Okay, away we go. Let's see how aggressive they are. I mean, I'm not fully up to speed, obviously. You saw me making big mistakes in the qualifying. So let's just try and keep things together. Understeer on the first corner, and the AI car actually had a good run on me there, but they kind of backed off once I got to the exit, so we're clear in P1. So you do get the Clio Cup behaviours, you know, you've got the front-weighted braking situation where the car feels light at the rear, and if you try and turn in or be too aggressive, you're going to lose the rear. And it gets a bit fishtaily and exciting, so that's there, which is cool. And there you go. See, a little bit too aggressive on the way in, and straight away I'm getting that snap of oversteer on turn in. Now that is realistic. Force feedback actually feels pretty good, to be honest. I know I'm using a really good steering wheel, Simucube 2 Pro, which is fantastic. And, you know, further, I guess it's technology that's gotten better since Project Cars came out, but the detail feels pretty good. The road surfaces are, you know, nowhere near as textured as a modern LMU or, iRacing with its laser scanning, but curbs felt good there. Graphics, I'm running on high settings, but they look really, really good. PC specs are in the description, but I think the game looks great. Now, missed my braking point, so yeah. Not great. Looks like I'm well clear of the AI as well, so we might, for the next round, we might just try not qualifying. Now, what I can't remember with this game is when I finish a season, and again, you in the comments, you guys seem to remember better than me, but when I finish a season, do I have to finish in a certain position to move up to the next tier? Do I have to win the championship to move up a tier, or will it let me pick the next tier just because I've completed a season? Or maybe you just get contract offers through. I seem to remember you get contract offers through, and then you just pick one. But, I mean, we can probably fire through the season and find out.
You've got a 3-second lead. That's great. Stay focused and keep pushing.
There we go. Ooh, over the curbs. Race 1 done. Cheers, Thierry.
Congratulations.
Hey, okay. Win 1. We've won by about 3 seconds. So, yeah, I obviously started on pole, but it was able to drive away. There's the championship points. So we can't really get away with missing full races, and, you know, without you do need to keep on scoring the good points consistently. And then this race has a mandatory pit stop, so here you go. So you must make a pit stop. So this is like a feature race. I don't know how many laps it's going to be, but surely it's more than 2. Yeah, I know, it's delisted. It's sad. It's very, very sad. Let's see how many laps this race is, and we'll see how the pit stop procedure works. I think it's pretty pick up and play, though. I don't remember it being very complicated. And what I'll maybe do this time is 5 laps. So what I'll maybe do, though, is pull over and let the AI cars go through, and just so we can get a proper race going. I'm not going to let them all go through because there's 20 of them. Right, let's see how AI behavior is. This is going to be a throwback, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. See if it's as exciting as I remember, or if I've got rose-tinted spectacles. So we'll go around the outside of this one, through the first craner. Oh, okay. Contact side to side. He's going to go on the grass, I'm sure. I'm being a bit cautious. Carry the speed through Old Hairpin. Oh, that was a good move. Back up to 4th, but I'm going to have to lift. They seem a bit slow on the run up the hill here. Oh, dear. Every time. Need to be so precise with the downshifts and the way you enter a corner in these cars. I think someone's alongside me, are they? Can't. Yeah. Okay, back to 5th. Alright, let's see. Yeah, they're a bit slow in the straight. Look at that. Just driving straight past. We'll give them the proper squeeze. Oh, terrible entry into the chicane. Let's see how the battles are for the rest of this one. So we're going to brake just the exit there. I think the AI cars seem a bit stronger than me under braking. And maybe that's because I've got all my assists and everything off. But look at that. I've got powerless to stop. Because I missed my apex horrendously. But I'm trying my best to keep the pace up and brake late, but also make the corners. But it's not easy. So I seem quicker on the straights. Not as good under braking. But then, oh, okay. Old hairpin there, pretty rubbish. So... so there's a bit of inconsistency of where they're fast and where they're slow compared to me, I think. Because that's twice now I've gone to old hairpin a lot faster than the cars around me. This is the tricky one. Can I keep it in? Yes. That's better. We'll see if the cars in front pit and we'll follow them if they do. Or we'll stay out if they stay out. Oh, understeer. Very, very simplified UI. So there's everything I can see, you can see. The only thing you can't see, obviously, is my left mirror and my left window, which I can only see a little bit of anyway. Okay, we're getting told to box, so let's go in. Follow the white car in. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna leave it at the default settings, so the pit stop happens for me. I didn't click anything. Hopefully the game is smart enough to not force me to change menu items in the pit stop to make a kind of normal sized pit stop. Looks like that's the case, so the white car should get out in front of me. No? Okay, I've just overtaken everyone. Interesting. Oh, cheers Cactus, see you later. Okay, we're in the lead of the cars that have pitted, which is surprising, so I don't know what happened to Daniel there. And hopefully I'm not short on, like, fuel or something, but I think it's pretty simple. And obviously, like, for you know, I see you guys talking about AMS2, and obviously AMS2 is essentially, in many ways, what feels like the modern Project Cars, or the Project Cars, you know, live service update that's continued to be updated since. And I think when you play Project Cars 2 and AMS2 back-to-back nowadays, the development and the progress on AMS2 is obviously being built on the same game engine, but with differences on top of that. So I think AMS2's always been different since the start, but it's improved a lot over the years, and I think that when you play AMS2 and Project Cars 2 back-to-back now, you can really notice those differences big time. So AMS2's, you know, it's made a lot of progress, but there's still a fundamental, like, what I would call a floatiness there, which has been there since, I think that's just something to do with the game engine and the actual characteristics of the game engine. Lots of other cars in the pits now. Oh, it's going to be tight. I think we're going to get... Are we going to get them all? Yes. Up into P5, so there's still a few to pit, but we've got everyone who's pitted so far. I do have Roger right on my back, who finished second in the first race. Hey, Freddie, welcome to the channel. How's it going? Thank you so much for being a community member. Oh, I've just... Roger went in a bit fast and then they slowed right down the apex. You know what? I actually remember this being the case with Project Cars. It's all coming back to me now. I remember Donington being funny because for some reason, Old Hairpin specifically, the AI were rubbish. They just like hit the brakes as you turned into the corner, but they were pretty okay everywhere else, and I would always get the moves done in Old Hairpin. I have a kind of rough memory of that. It's kind of slightly coming back to me. Yeah, so Unigreen asks how the car is feeling with a wheel. This car feels pretty good. So and I always remember the Clio, because it's kind of a front-wheel drive simplified touring car. It's like, it doesn't feel as like on the nose and realistic as driving a car like this in iRacing, for example. We know that, but it generally feels natural. I find it hard to get it, you know, slowed down properly and balanced on the default setup without losing the rear. But you can see now I'm getting the hang of it. It's all coming together, and I'm able to drive it in a pretty realistic fashion. Like, I'm able to hit my apex if I get the braking right and a trail brake in. I can run the car out to the curb on the way out. The force feedback's giving me a lot of information and detail, so I'm always able to catch the slides when they happen. And it's really not so bad. I think some of the faster cars might expose that a little bit more. But I'm just going to call things as I feel them now, because obviously back in the day when I was playing this, I was playing it on, well, oh, what steering wheel did I have in 2015? I'm going to say a Logitech G27. Which is still a great wheel, by the way. Should we find out? Shall I smash the boards and see? If they're already with Project Cars on it. It's going to be another win, though.
You're leading by 3 seconds. Protect that gap.
So we'll not qualify for the next one. I think it'll be more fun to try and fight our way through. Let's see how many points we get for smashing through the boards. I mean, you do send them flying, and you can carry them along the road, which is interesting. Anyway, there we go. We did it, Thierry. We won. Double win for the first round. And there you go. Won by about 3 seconds in the end, despite driving across the grass. So I think we'll have to see how the cars are on other circuits, because I think Donington, they're specifically a bit weird through Old Hairpin. But let's see if we start from the back at the next circuit without the practice. Let's see where we end up in the race, because I think it's going to be fun to try and fight our way through in only a few laps. 20th is a lot. There's a lot of cars to fight through, though. Oh, that's awesome, Leon. I remember installing Race 07 on a laptop when I first got it. It wasn't even when the game came out. It was probably like years after the game came out, to be honest. And I remember being so excited to play it as a kid because of all the different content in there and being able to drive the Nordschleife because I had the expansions installing and everything. I'd bought a bundle. I remember like getting up at 4 a.m. too because I could barely sleep, and just to check if the game had installed yet. And I was sitting in the kitchen installing, and then I remember getting up at 4 o'clock on a school night and just sat there, trying to be quiet and not wake up anyone in the house, and then doing like a lap just to see if the game worked with the sound off and everything, just trying to be super quiet, and then going into school like the next day and just go back to bed. But I like couldn't sleep because I was so excited to go home and play it. Racing games when you're younger are just they can be properly exciting. That feeling of downloading a new game and waiting to see how it plays, or your first proper sim racing title. Like, you can't really replace those. You can't replicate those feelings when you've been doing it for a long time, or as an adult when you can just buy any game that you can afford at any point. It's some of that kind of buzz that you get like a kid at Christmas kind of goes away. So it's great that this game was that for you. I will definitely drive some of the faster cars as well in this, because obviously I think Pink's, or is it PNK or Pink? I'm not sure, but the front wheel drive cars feel good in this game. We'll have to see how it is in mid-engine, but I think we'll try some of that. What we'll do next is do another career event, but we will do it without qualifying and just to see, and then maybe we'll try something else. We'll jump in another car. So I've got some messages in the inbox here. 2 in a row. John's happy. Here's the standings and the results, so you can actually look at all the different championships you've got. The GT3 US or UK Trophy, Formula Rookies, LMP2. We will look at all the cars and stuff as well. And then you've got the standings on the right, and obviously the round results. So we've only done one round. So there you go. And we've got news reports too. Look, John Monroe pushes to first after Donington Park national win. I wonder if it says pushes because I bumped into someone. And we've got messages on the right as well coming from social media feeds. What a legend, TraxionGG rocks. There you go, like Trucker Man. It's a shame that real social media isn't quite as wholesome as fan chat in this game. There doesn't seem to be too much negative stuff going on. But there you go. Oh, I'm just seeing Riverside, 1967 F1 at Riverside. That's amazing. Love it. I remember the crowdfunding as well, Neil. Like, this was a big deal because there was a big thing about trying to raise the money to make this game, and it had a different name at first, didn't it? And it became Project Cars. I can't remember what the name was at the start. But I remember this. Yeah, this was such an exciting project, and just hearing about it for like years before it actually came along. Yeah, was it WMD? Was that what it was called? I feel like it actually had a name. But maybe it was what WDMD stood for. I really can't remember. But I had a feeling that it was called something else. I might be. I'm very often very wrong. So take it as you will. Round 2. Let's do it. It's Snetterton. I don't know which layout, but I'm definitely gonna be worse against the AI around Snetterton. Let's say that. So let's simulate qualifying. We'll simulate to the race as well. And let's just try it. Community assisted racing simulator. Yep. That's what it should have been called. Yeah, it was all happening at the same time, wasn't it? Assetto Corsa was just before then, wasn't it? 2014, I think. And I was hot lapping on Assetto Corsa. I was racing and playing career mode on Project Cars. I was hot lapping on Assetto Corsa. But I think people kind of forget, or maybe, well, obviously you guys don't forget, but a lot of people kind of overlook the original Project Cars because Project Cars 2 took Project Cars and made it better or added more content, and Project Cars 2 was a more rounded game. But it's really interesting because when I go back to it now and play the two of them, there's something just really good about Project Cars that I think actually just is really simplified and great. It's going to be very hard, Thierry, when I don't qualify, I agree. Especially because I've got 2 laps and I'm starting 20th. And Snetterton is a very brake-heavy circuit, so I think the AI are going to be faster. But we're just going to experiment. Race 2 might be easier because I'll have 5 laps and pit stops. Apparently there's a few crazies out there. Right, let's see what happens from P20. What progress could we make? The UI is super clean. The menus, when you're actually, scrolling through them, are great. But also in-game, while I'm driving right now, what you can see on screen is everything I can see. Plus, as I say, just a window in the mirror that you can't see underneath my head. But there's nothing else on there. Whoa! We've got no radar or anything, so you're having to rely on looking left and right and mirrors. It's been a pretty good start, though. Chaotic scenes with the AI drivers at Snetterton 200, so we're going left. First time I ever raced Snetterton in real life was MX-5s on the 200 layout, but I've raced the 300 layout a lot more recently. So I've only done the 200 layout once, one weekend, and it was, well, it was a weird one. I got my PB result at the time, but I also got taken out in a pile-up in the same race, and then made progress after the safety car, so it was a kind of double whammy, where I had a lot of damage and a crash, but also had my best ever result in the same race. Through bomb hole. Right, we're up to P13, so it's pretty good progress. But obviously it's going to get harder. Let's see if we can sneak one down the inside into Coram. Okay, let's see if we can sneak 2 down the inside. No, just 1. Oh, contact with another car there, I think. Yeah, I think I might have put someone off, so apologies. Anyway, P12, that's okay. Really, really enjoy these quick, snappy races where you're just trying to fight through the pack, though. This is what a game like this is great at. And obviously the AI behavior is not perfect. You can see the lights flickering on the brakes. They're a bit, all over the place. But actually, for what I'm looking for right now, this is spot on. Can we get the car turned? And then they obviously like hurt each other as well. Like they push each other wide and they force each other off, and then they lose momentum. And whoa, I got blocked there. Come on. I don't know if I'm clear. I don't think I'm clear. Oh, no. Big lockup. No one on the inside, is there? We're going to find out anyway. No, we're clear. Come on, sneak one at Coram. No. Force them on the outside, on the brakes, get the undercut. No. Just don't quite have the grip into there. We need to do a bit of work on setup. But there you go, P10. So that's all right. We'll see if we can get through further in the race 2 with the 5 laps and the pit stop. That was fun though. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Unigreen. It reminds me of Grid 2. It's that sort of feeling where it's just quick fire racing that's fun, that's intense. Maybe it's a little bit more mad than a real race in some cases, but not always, to be honest. I didn't have a pile-up in that race. I did in real life, so there you go. You can see only 11 points, so not great for the championship, but hey, it's fine. Roger Graham finished 7th, and I'm still leading the championship, so there you go. And this is what you want. You get different drivers doing well. You've got a point structure here with wins, so you begin to like form rivalries and stuff like that, but we're still at the top. So it's not like the same AI cars are always finishing right at the front. But then again, it's not like the driver who finished 2nd last time finished, 15th. They actually finished in the top half still. Yeah, Need for Speed 2, yeah. No, sorry, Need for Speed Shift is what I mean. Oh, look. Top right, weather forecast. Light rain. Current weather, light rain. So we're going to get a wet race. So rain was the other thing that Project Cars has always been great for. Like just for the looks mainly, and the excitement of a wet race and the puddle build up and the aquaplaning and stuff. It's brilliant. And it was ahead of its time, I would say, in terms of that side of things. Not necessarily in how the rain affects the handling, but just in terms of like how the puddles, affect the physics and all that kind of stuff. I think there's dry and wet tires as well, and I didn't even check. I've just gone straight for it. So let's see if we can get all the way to the front then in 5 laps. In the wet as well, so need to be careful here because I don't know what the AI are going to do in the wet. Okay. Oh, being railroaded off. Scary trees still there, which is good. Now, my recollection tells me that the AI were actually stronger in the wet. I might be remembering that wrong, but that's what it is in my head. There goes a cone. Right. Make some big progress through the middle here. We're going to get on the brakes. Into Nelson. Let's see. Oh, okay. I saw the car in front doing that dive, and I thought, right, this is my chance. I'll send one. I didn't realize there was a car sending it on me, so I had to back out of that one because I wouldn't be able to turn. So it's frenetic. We're up to P12 though, so it's been relatively successful. And the grip level's, maybe a little bit high. He says, running out of grip and plowing off the circuit. Oh! Okay, those cars must be going to the pits, surely, yeah. Lots of cars going to the pits on lap 1, which is interesting. I don't know if there's a pit window. We'll just go in when our engineer tells us to. So we're actually up into P3 at this stage. So that's good, some clean air. Definitely still feel like there are some areas where the AI feel... oh, that's my button to look behind. Some areas where the AI feel stronger than me in a way that I can't control, and other areas where they feel, surprisingly weak. So I wouldn't say the balance is spot on between the AI strength across circuit, for instance. Like there, for example. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I've got the composure and the grip into Brundle and Nelson to do what they're doing, and that's not the first time. Oh, it's drying up, look. Do we put on dries? The rain's just stopped, and it looks sunny, and the track suddenly feels pretty dry, so I wonder if we can put on dries. I've got no grip through Corum anymore. Whoa! Big curb use for the AI, and I've got no pace compared to them. Okay, don't think we can speed into pit lane. Right, can we... Okay, so when you go into this, it actually pauses so the pit menu pauses the game. That is a good touch. So we've got fuel refill. So we don't really need many laps of that, right? So that's fine. I don't know if it actually makes a difference. Change tires. So you've got symmetrical setup. Now, can we choose the compound? Yeah, soft or wet. So we can go for softs. I don't know if we started on softs or wets. I think probably wets. So let's change on to softs. Do we have any damage to fix? I don't think so. Okay, so we click save. Oh, There we go. So now we should be putting on slicks. And look, I mean, the rain is cleared very fast. Like, it's a bone-dry Snetterton all of a sudden. Yeah, Edward, I think you're right that it still holds up well. Like, it doesn't look or feel dated or worse now than it did when it came out, if that makes sense. Like, it feels like it's aged well. I think there's not been a huge amount of... Maybe not been a huge amount of meaningful progression in terms of how games looked in the last 10 years. Probably since about 2010, 2011, they've, you know, there's... Graphics-wise, anyway, things haven't hugely improved. Unless you look at, like, Gran Turismo 7 or something. Oh, that's totally on me. I'm so sorry. Oh. Weird. I essentially punished myself there because I couldn't... The car just lost all drive. I've just seen the comment, if you can't hit your pit crew, it's it's never a simulation. Right. Oh, the wipers are back on. Why are the wipers on? And I've got a car down the inside, which yeah. That's our memory as well. It's, you know, that's Roger Graham. That's my championship rival. It's really funny how certain AI behaviors are coming straight back to me now. Like, oh, I remember that they're rubbish through that corner, and I remember that they're totally OP through that corner. It's just kind of a weird ingrained muscle memory. It's probably not going to be like that for many of the series, but the Clios definitely, because I did quite a lot of races in these Clios. Oh. Bit of contact. No idea what tyres anyone's on, so that's a little bit of a shame. It's very hard to follow, but we're into the top 5.
Good lap. That's your fastest lap so far today.
Could still be some more people in front to pit. Let's just try and get a fast lap under our belt. Yeah, I don't know if I turned down the damage. I thought I had everything on like full, to be honest. And I don't actually know what button. I don't know if I've signed a button to change camera. I'll need to check that. Okay, wipers. Oh, no. Wipers keep coming on under the bridge there for some reason at the end of the straight. I tried attacking Brundle Nelson a bit more because of the AI speed through there, and as you can see, it did not work in the slightest. One lap to go. Sadly, Matty, I cannot help you with that because I do not know how to get these games nowadays because I own them anyway from... I would like, check CD keys, I would say, but delisted probably means delisted, so you're going to have to search far and wide to get it working. I mean, you can probably find, like, I've got a PS4 disc version of this game, so if you're on console, getting a disc might be doable. There are websites that shall not be named, yeah. That's probably about right. Alright, way better. Way better. This is a good lap now. We're actually close to P4, but I don't think we're going to get there in time. So Diana's going to get us. See if we can get fastest lap in the race for 2 bonus points.
Find out where he's slower than you. Keep pushing. See if you can take him under brake.
Ooh! Interesting, so it's Diana, but the engineer says him still. So obviously they've not recorded them as they, from an engineer's audio standpoint. So just keeping things a bit more simplified, which is a little bit of a shame, immersion braking, but obviously not a massive detail. Valentino wins from Marcos, from Daniel, Diana, and me. So 5th place, 11 seconds off the lead. You can also view and save replays, which is cool. I'm going to assign a button to change camera angles. We're going to look at the car roster, all of these sorts of things. But there you can see 22 points because I got fastest lap. So I actually got the same amount of points as Diana, which is excellent. And the same person finished... Actually, yeah, Valentino finished first and third. So not the same person won each race, which is great. And I got fastest lap in the second one. So there we go. And we've extended our championship lead after all of that. Thanks, Thierry. So there we are. That's 2 rounds done out of 5. So I will probably at some point skip on and see what happens at the end of Season 1. However, I want to kind of show you what we've got in terms of car selection. So we can go to our garage here. Select a car. Now, is this just... So we can basically go through each different series. So you've got the 2 karts, the shifter kart and the super kart. Super kart racing, I think, is great fun, but I know some of you don't like the karting from memories, which is interesting. Prototypes, I mean, there's so many. So many prototypes. And that's like... Prototypes is one category, but there's obviously different categories within that. So you've got LMP2s like this Alpine. Back in the day when the LMP2s were open top. Not hugely different to what they are nowadays, but... Definitely different. Audi R18, that's the car from the thumbnail. You've got the different liveries as well, look. Brilliant. So you've got a kind of, what was, I guess, almost current Le Mans car at the time, diesel LMP1. BMW V12 LMR, so classic LMP 900s as well. I think there's more than one of these. So you had the Bentley Speed 8 as well, so similar class. There you go. Sauber C9, so we've got a Group C car as well. That class, that car class logo is the same as the one in Project Cars 2 as well, so that not everything changed. I think that's, in terms of classic cars, I don't know if there's going to be many other than that, because obviously you've got like your Caterham SP, which is more like a track day prototypey thing. The Marex are fictional prototypes to fill out the classes. So you've got like an LMP1 version and an LMP2. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of to avoid the licensing issues. Just fill some up. And then, yeah, the Orica. So that's like an LMP2. So yeah, modern Orica. The Palmer Sport should go up against the Radical. Or the what was the other one? The Caterham. I seem to remember that class, actually. There's the Radical. 2 Radicals, actually. Prototype 2. So, yeah, it's just kind of like a more national level, let's say, prototype championship. It's maybe a bit quicker to look at it like this, but it's interesting seeing the different classes anyway. Probably pressed the wrong buttons here. Here we go. So, yeah. So, interesting selection. Not a huge amount in terms of, you know, multiple cars per class. There's only one Group C car there, I can see, for instance. I think this was also like a... Yeah, this is another, like, Marek fictional prototype, LMP1 and LMP2 with a roof, so a bit different. That looks... I mean, that fictional P2 car looks so much like the current real P2 cars. All these different road manufacturers, too. So, Gumpert, is there an Apollo S? Yes, there is. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Road A. So yeah, this is the same as Project Cars 2. You have the different categories of road class. I'm not going to look through everything here. But you've got some really interesting machines. Focus RS. Road C2. You could probably search by class. That would be much more handy. But I'm in the garage right now, so I don't know if it works the same way. GT cars. Loads and loads of like GT3s. You've got the RUF instead of the Porsche. Don't know why it's clicked twice there. Classic Le Mans. So you got GT. There you go. Like historic Grand Touring class. A GT4 Mustang. And then Trans Am in Group 5. So many different categories, actually, when you really start looking into it. I think they just built on this for Project Cars 2. Because the categories in there are fantastic as well. So many options. A Zonda R. There's more Pagani's in there as well. Continental GT3, the old style as well. Wow, it's mad to think GT3 racing has been around for this long, and it's actually been around quite a lot longer even than 10 years, which is crazy. Yeah, loads and loads of cars. Really, really interesting stuff. I'm not going to go through every single one. I just want to get a little bit of a flavour. So yeah, you've got your touring cars as well, including old. So you've got the Group A's, your BMW 190. You've also got your historic touring cars like the what's this called again? The I can't remember what it's called. It keeps on double clicking as well. And then the Clio Cup, of course. And then one more category really that we're going to look at. American stock series. So there's like NASCARs, classic and new, and then open wheel. You've got the Formula Golf 1000, which we're definitely going to do a race in because someone commented that earlier, and I remember those cars being great fun to race. You've got a classic, okay, so lots of classic Lotuses, much like, or Loti, much like Project Cars 2. Look at that. 98T, you've got the 78 Cosworth, 72D as well. So like early 70s, late 70s, mid 80s. And then we have the modern Formula cars. So basically like no official licensed Formula 1 cars and stuff like that. So you had Formula Rookie, which is essentially a Formula Ford. Formula 3, which actually looks more like an American, like it looks like an older American feeder series car rather than a Formula 3 car. You had Formula B, which is basically an F1 car with lower power, so kind of like a GP2 car of the time a wee bit. But the model looks a little more, yeah, I guess it is a GP2 car of the time. And then Formula A, which was obviously Formula 1 from 2011. There you go. Hey, Di, how's it going? Good to see you back in the chat. Sorry if you want to see some racing. I've just spent a while going through all the cars, but I think it's a big part of the nostalgia, isn't it? Looking at the vehicles included in some of these old games. I mean, you can have a quick glance there. There's a McLaren, F1 Longtail GT1. The Huayra, and you've got the other Zonda as well. Yeah, great options. Huh. Look at that. Recognize that? So there's the Scion or Sion FRS, which of course is the Toyota GT6 or the Subaru BRZ or the Scion, depending on where you are. Let's actually do. We said we'd do a race in the Formula. What's it called? The Gulf? Formula Gulf? We might need to go... I'll just... Look at that. V8 supercar as well. Can we actually drive any car? Do we have to own it? I think we can just drive it. Formula Gulf. There we go. And you've got custom livery option too, which is great. Loads and loads of liveries to keep the field looking fresh and exciting. We'll go the Golf livery for the Formula Golf. Now, a track that I remember being quite a big one in the game, because I guess it wasn't like a very well-known track to me at the time, but it's a track I associate with this game, and it's Dubai Autodrome Club. And I think it's because there's maybe a few races early in the career that used this track, and because I didn't know the track, it was kind of interesting to me to drive something different. So I think for my own personal nostalgia, I'm going to jump on that. I'm sure this will bring back some memories for you guys as well. We'll do 3 laps. It's quite a short track. Random grid position. I want to do a few things. I'd like to maybe do a kart race as well around one of the karting tracks. Oh, yes. Sorry. Thank you, Neil. I'd already forgotten. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Di. That's not nice at all. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to diabetes, but I know that it can be debilitating, and I don't obviously know anything about the details. But I'm sorry to hear it, and I wish you all the best with it, and hope that your health is okay. But yeah, that's not a nice thing to have happen on a day, I guess. I will set my change camera button. Thank you very much. Let's do that. So we've got controls. As I said earlier, custom wheel, and I just had to basically calibrate it through this, and it was all very straightforward. Did I? Let's see. Psycho camera. Yeah, I did not assign a button. There we go. I probably just unassigned something else, but it's fine. I see Jay's here as well. Welcome back, Jay. How's it going? I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing good. I've had a busy week after a lovely holiday the week before. And yeah, just enjoying, as always, enjoying a little nostalgia trip on the channel. We've got a big week ahead of us with Le Mans Ultimate, of course. So you've got a kind of front, let's call it a bumper cam. Then you've got this helmet cam, which you see a lot in racing games nowadays. Likes of ACC has it, but I remember this camera angle being pretty innovative at the time, and I remember using it thinking, wow, this is amazing. Ooh. I was already racing in real life when this game came out, so it wasn't like it was a way of me to experience the real thing when I couldn't, but I actually think the effect... Oh, that's not good. I think the visual effects and stuff with this camera angle are pretty good, like the way it kind of adds a blur to certain things to keep you focused. It's got like a look to apex thing, it's got a bit of shake on it. And I actually think in terms of, let's say, realism, this camera angle is brilliant. Like, it's just the right height level where you can actually see pretty well over the thing. It's probably higher than you would sit in the real car, but in the real car you've got more peripheral vision. So I actually think in a sim, to make it feel more realistic, you actually have to sit a little higher, and because obviously I'm using a single screen here, and I can't, see as much around me. So I need a bit of help, let's say. I'm getting absolutely mullered by the AI. Yeah, lots and lots of different camera options. I do not have the pace around here at all. I think I'm literally almost last. But I need to try and remember how this car handles. Oh. Yeah. And there goes my fingers. So, again, not like the front-wheel drive car at all, of course, which it shouldn't be. But it is this is tricky. And I remember when you would have seen when I started driving the Clio there, I was really struggling in the braking zones to keep it straight, and then eventually after a couple of races I began to get the hang of it and drive a little bit smoother. I was still a bit scrappy, but it was a bit better. I think it's exactly the same in this. You would jump in, do a qualifying and a practice session, actually get up to speed, learn what you were doing, and then obviously race a little bit competitively. If you just jump into a race like I'm doing now, it's tough. Now, having driven, relatively low-powered single-seaters with more downforce than this, but still, I can tell you in terms of the handling and the physics and stuff that this is not... It's not as easy as a real single-seater. It's a bit more flighty and floaty. It feels like it's going to snap away from me any second. It almost feels the downforce doesn't quite hold you as it should, but there's not lots of downforce in a Formula 1000 car, so it's not going to be groundbreaking in terms of grip, but it just feels a little bit... I don't know what the word is. Yappy? Is that a good word to describe how I'm trying to explain the feeling? It feels a little bit inconsistent and a little bit snappy. Whoa! And then obviously the way that the grip actually loads up and drops away when you push over the limits is something that is slightly unnatural, but you do get used to the more you play the game. So I think it's one of those ones where it does not feel as good as driving a single-seater in a lot of those modern sims right now. But you drive for 5-10 laps, you begin to get into the flow of it, and then I think you're okay. Yes, definitely, Thierry. Yappy physics, yeah, that's it. Trying to find words to explain feeling is a challenge sometimes. The car feels just a bit sort of... what's the word? Flighty is maybe a good word. Hey, Ross is also here. So it feels like someone has stuck T-trays under the back wheels. Yeah, that's maybe what yappy means in terms of cars. I wouldn't say full T-trays. I feel like maybe one little bit of the tire has got a T-tray under it, as one little bit of the contact patch, but just something a little bit more unpredictable. Oh, that's really annoying, Di, as well. You give up biscuits and sweets, and then you're diagnosed with diabetes. That's like, I mean, it still probably justifies doing that, but and I might be talking out, you know, nonsense. I'm not an expert with diabetes. I have a few friends that suffer from it, but I don't know very much about it. But I just know that it can be debilitating and very impractical, and just something that you've got to manage for a prolonged period of time, and it's not easy. So yeah, no, just wish you all the best with your health. All the best with your health. I always see your name in all the chats of these streams, so the support is very much appreciated, and I would like to reciprocate the support to your new kind of, let's call it, health situation. So all the best. Shall we try one more different type of car, and then let's get through the Clio season, because I want to see what happens at the end of the season. I would think we should try... Should we do prototypes? Could jump in like an old GT car as well. What do you think, guys? Any cars you want to see? Karting, we could do a karting thing as well. That's an option. Could do an LMP2 race. That'd be quite fun. Ooh, or LMP 900. Cheers, Neil. Much appreciate the support. Yeah, I can imagine. Di. Oh, yeah, let's go 90s DTM. Great shout. So with Group A, we could go to Sierra. I think we'll go with BMW M3. Yeah, we're definitely going to do Group A. Let's go with the Mercedes. Yes. We'll do the Mercedes. Is Sugo in this game? I know Sugo's in number 2. In fact, what we'll do is we will go with the fake version of Suzuka. So Sakito GP is not Suzuka. It looks like Suzuka. It's clearly inspired by Suzuka, but there are some key differences, and it's fun to revisit it and remember what it's like. So I'm going to go with Sakito. In Group A, that's going to be great fun. We should maybe do... We'll take it down to 98 since I'm going to be learning the track as we go. Random grid, yeah, let's just do all of that. That's all good. We'll give this a try. Yeah, sounds familiar, doesn't it? I definitely... I've always loved the Group A cars in Project Cars 2. So one of the combinations I was absolutely obsessed with when I was in VR simulators was Group A's around Sugo. I used to love driving the four-wheel drive Skyline. It's just absolutely epic. But all of the rear-wheel drive cars as well, they're just amazing. Right, so, as you can see, massive mountain in the background that's very different, and the hill on the right is very different to Suzuka, but the corner layout still goes fast right into a tighter right. Not quite the same in terms of profile, but not a million miles away. But then it's very different, and by the way, how good does this game look at, with the lighting and everything? So then you've got a straight run, which doesn't happen at Suzuka, of course, into the right kink and a bump before it, and it's a very different right kink. So this is very much not Suzuka, but it's kind of like, if you looked at it on a track map, it would be almost the same. This bit is Suzuka. It feels like, you know, a decent version of the rest of the S's, let's say, the last two sections of the S's. Right, let's get the rear. Oh, I need to learn how this thing handles. We got the rear moving, but I need to remember that I actually need to concentrate to drive it whilst giving the tour. Okay, then we've got the double right, where everyone always bins it in qualifying. Now, instead of the hairpin left, look, we've got a sweeping high-speed left with very, very strange bumps, which really throw you off. The visuals are looking absolutely sensational. Like, you know, we talk about AMS2 being amazing nowadays for, like, sunsets and all that kind of stuff. Whoa, that's bad. But, I mean, this is 2015, and just the way that it's all balanced is fantastic. Game looks amazing. And because it's an older game, I can run on Ultra and the performance is still really good because, you know, games are less taxing back in the day than they are now. Look, you can even see the moon straight ahead of us there on the top. That's amazing. Is that the moon? Ooh, 130R. Just about held it on despite pushing someone else off. And then look, no chicane for the GP layout. We're going to go into the big long right-hander, which is the last corner. without a chicane, and it's absolutely epic. And then down towards the finish line, and we're maxing out in 6th gear. Can race from the central camera. That, I mean, look at that camera. That's straight out of the MS2, isn't it? Okay, drive better, John. And then we've got the helmet cam. that is the moon, right? Okay. Okay. Let's take a breather. This is no Clio Cup. You need to actually be a bit more sensible. And I think what I'm also trying to do is the AI, as I say, have slightly different ways of managing grip that as a player you don't necessarily have. So I think trying to follow them too closely, you do end up overdriving a little bit because there are certain limitations that are just not balanced very well. And I would say driving cars like this is where you can really sort of, I would say, tell the difference between a Project Cars 2 and Project Cars. So in the Clio, it felt great. This feels okay, but Project Cars 2 is a long way ahead in terms of the Group A handling, I would say. It just doesn't feel, this game just doesn't feel as polished or natural to drive when it comes to these rear-wheel drive cars. And I think that checks out with what I remember when I tried Project Cars 2. I was like, okay, some of it's not much better, but some of it is clearly better. And yeah, it's pretty easy to lose control of the car. I mean, I'm obviously driving like a bit of an idiot as well. I'm kind of throwing it around. I'm not, you know, if I spent a bit of time practicing, I could work out exactly where to brake and be smoother and faster. But normally, if I'm driving a car like this on a modern sim, I can kind of control it a bit easier. Whereas, again, this is just a little bit flighty. And look, the car is blurred because the kind of focus is on the road ahead of you. I'm going to brake a bit earlier than the AI because I just don't think I can do that. That bump is horrible, and obviously not there in real life because it's a different part of the circuit. Oh. I don't seem to have the same front end as the AI. And then if I go too aggressive on the throttle, the slide is probably more, I don't know, pronounced than I feel like it possibly should be. Driving rear-wheel drive cars like this, or you know, prototypes or whatever it is you're driving, something where the rear end steps out, it's actually genuinely harder in this than it is in real life to control it because of the feel. You just don't have the same, the physics just don't give you enough in terms of information to actually naturally catch a car, and it just does little unpredictable snaps here and there which make it more challenging. Yeah, it's a little bit like a drug simulation when you're following someone closely. But no, I think the way they did cockpit cam in this game was great. Or helmet cam, I should say. We seem a bit quicker through the last corner. Oh, just about hanging on. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, 100% Tom, agreed. It does look really, really good still. I think, like, Project Cars 1 was replaced very soon after, right? But they worked on Project Cars 1 for a long time, with the crowdfunding and everything that went on. Project Cars 2 only came a few years afterwards. It was really not that long a gap, and then Project Cars 2 was obviously, it was a lot longer before Project Cars 3, wasn't it? Maybe not a lot longer, actually. No, it wasn't that long. Project Cars 3 came about in, what was it, 2020? Is that right? 2019 or 2020? I need to look it up. So actually, no, I'm talking nonsense. Project Cars 1, 2, and 3 were all within, they were 2-year cycles, weren't they? And in my head, Project Cars 2 was around for longer, but it's just because Project Cars 2 has been the most recent, let's call it, respected Project Cars title since, well, that still is. Project Cars 3 was a different thing. It was a sidestep, and it was a disappointment with, false promises, and didn't in any way live up to the hype and expectation. Project Cars 4, which would have been, or should have been Project Cars 3, then never happened because of the takeovers, and AMS2 sort of became what some would call Project Cars 3 in a way, because it used the same game engine, but it's an entirely different team of people working with that, same engine. So therefore, in my head, Project Cars 1 had a really short life, and Project Cars 2 has had a long life because it's still the most relevant Project Cars game. Hopefully that makes some sense. But yeah, you're right. They could have just kept working on things, but obviously they were bringing out sequels. And hey, tricky thing. You have to understand that, like, game developers and all of these things, they need to make money in order to be able to make more games, and it's their livelihoods and everything. So sometimes it's like we're all desperate for everything to be as good as possible, and for them to work on keeping, making something great and not necessarily replacing it until it's perfect. But if they need to make another game to sell no more copies, to sell more money rather than DLC, then it has to happen, sadly. So it's it's a tricky one sometimes. As a consumer and a fan, it's like we just want to enjoy everything, and we want everything to be amazing, and we want everything for free. But obviously there's so many things happening behind the scenes that make it difficult, and at the end of the day, it's business, isn't it? So it's tricky. Oh, Kyler says drive the NASCAR. I don't even remember driving the NASCAR in this game. I'll maybe do a very quick run on it, just because it's something a bit different. Oh, it's got the CLK LM as well. We've got a few different NASCAR. We've got there's a historic one as well, isn't there? So you've got it'd probably be easier actually if I go into this bit, because you can actually see the categories. So American stock. Oh, it's just the one. Oh, it's just the classic one. Okay. All right. Is there an oval? I can't remember. We could drive on a track that's wholly inappropriate. Azure, yeah. Oh. So we've got the Monaco Azure circuit, but we've also got Azure Coast. That's a throwback. Probably not good in a NASCAR. Cadwell. Oh, yeah. Cadwell Woodland as well, the short Cadwell. Excellent. The thing is with me in this game is I remember a lot of these tracks, but for me, Project Cars 2 had more tracks, and there's not really many tracks in Project Cars 1 that weren't in Project Cars 2. I don't know if there are any, actually. Most of these were in Project Cars 2, weren't they? So there's different versions of Sakito you can do as well. Willow Springs is in here, which is cool. Zhuhai. Is there an oval layout in this game? I don't think there is there? I mean, Monza Short's probably close. We could do something like Sonoma, because the NASCAR just raced at Sonoma. I don't think there is an oval in this game, unless I'm remembering it incorrectly. Race Room Raceway, yeah. Bannock Bray, incredible track. That's Project Cars 2, though, isn't it? Unless the one thing I don't know is if I've got the DLC installed for Project Cars. I don't remember if I've got it on my account. So I don't know if I've got all the stuff that became available with DLC. But yeah, Bannock Bray and Group C cars. Oh, yeah, there's no oval here. We're going to do Sonoma because it's where the NASCAR most recently went. We'll just do a 2-lap race. And I have a feeling the AI are going to be OP. So we're going to lower them to our level. All right, let's do it. And then I'll jump back into I know, yeah, Formula A 2011 F1 car. I'll maybe do 1 lap around Monaco. Because there's so many different combos that we could do, and we'd be here forever. Oh, look, it's like a Traxion livery. Look at that. Traxion color scheme. Ah, I'm not ready. The loading times are far too good. I'm not used to this. Right. Stock car sounds good, to be fair. Does it handle? Oh, that's not my fault. I'm restarting. That wasn't my fault. reason I'm repeating myself here is because normally it is my fault. So when it's not your fault, you've got to, you know, take advantage of that moment. Okay, replays 15-second jumps. Let's just see that again. Yeah. Bannock Bray and the GT1 cars lift the front up. It was incredible. If you try them flat, yeah, look at that. Side swiped. Let's try again. Steve parked it. Actually there was 3 jumps in Bannock Bray, because there was 2 areas that didn't look like jumps where you could get horrendous air. Hang on, I don't know if this is going to be straight ahead. I think it might be. Yeah, the arms aren't crossed, I don't know why I was wondering. And then there was obviously the last sector of Bannock Bray, when you had that sweeping section. Possibly one of the... Honestly, Bannock Bray's up there for me as one of the best fictional circuits ever. Not because it's like a realistic racetrack, it's just a Scottish B road, but... wow, what an incredible venue. When you learn that track and you start pushing a car around it, like a GT1 or a Group C, it's phenomenal. And a road car, obviously. Now, I'm just getting bullied here. You guys can't necessarily see very well what's left and right of me here, but I'm just getting bullied by the cars around. I'm going to try one more attempt here. But they're pretty aggressive. I mean, it is NASCAR. Let's try chase cam. I also don't have. I probably should be doing some clutch starts, but we're doing some really slow getaways. Right, here we go. This is basically so that you guys see the evidence of when I get taken out unceremoniously. Look at them all. Whoa. Yes. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of a nudge in the back. Nothing I could do there. Don't think there is a helmet cam for this one. Oh, there is. Lots of different camera views there, and some of them are very similar. Oh, that's... Yeah. 360, come on. Yes. Did anyone see, by the way, the 360 in the most recent round of the kind of reborn World Rallycross Championship? From, it was Kevin Hansen. Or was it Timmy? What an incredible moment. Honestly, go and, if you haven't seen it, go and look up the, actually, honestly, you should just watch the final. Watch the most recent final of the World Rallycross Championship at Holliers. And it was absolutely hammering it down with rain, monsoon conditions. If it was Formula 1, they would have, they wouldn't have even, like, it would have been too wet to red flag. They would have had to, like, you know, red flag the red flag. The marshals wouldn't have even been allowed out on circuit. It was horrendous, and it was obviously because it's rallycross, they're ploughing through the mud, and it is one of the most epic races I've ever seen. The reason I mention it is because during that race, I think it was Kevin Hansen did just the most incredible 360, and literally like didn't lose any time because he perfectly sent it into the corner, did the 360, and then made the apex as part of recovering it. It was just the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen, so highly recommend it. I think I've got someone doing me inside. Yep, I do. Yeah, so a bit of, I would say, AI imbalance between like some of the slower front-wheel drive cars, the Clio, and some of these faster cars. You definitely need to run the AI a little lower to even feel like you can keep up with them. I know I could definitely improve and go faster and get used to the cars, do some setup work, all these kind of things, but it feels like the limitations that you have versus them are just a little bit imbalanced. Right. We did it. We did it. We're doing career. So, we're 2 rounds in. Now, what round's next? I feel like I could skip a round. Silverstone. Silverstone's a pretty boring track. So maybe we'll what's round 4? Can you guys remember, anyone who played a lot of Project Cars? I mean, I played a lot of it and I can't remember. Do you remember if you need to finish a certain position in the championship to unlock the next tier or get better? It'll probably affect your offers, right? Like, better championship results will improve your offers, I would have thought. Three, as in I've finished top 3. Yeah, cool. Well, let's just let's do a 2-lap race. Ah, yeah. I think that rings a bell to me as well. You can skip or you can do more. Yeah, it was Kevin. Yeah, amazing. Thank you for that. Go and watch it. I mean, I would put it on the stream here, but we've got so many things I want to try with Project Cars that I'm not going to have time to go onto YouTube and start looking it up, but I highly recommend you do. Oh, cool. So the progress restriction on screen shows it. All right, I'll look into that after this race. We're going to jump straight into a 2-lap showdown at Silverstone International. Let's just try and get up as many positions as we can. I think this track should suit us because I'm going to do a clutch start here. Much better. I think we'll suit this track because there's more straights, less trail braking zones like Snetterton. So I think we will, our power advantage seemingly against the AI should put us in good nick. Oh, and I'm not driving a NASCAR anymore. I need to remind myself that. Sorry, not a NASCAR, stock car. NASCAR is the series, not the discipline of car. Ooh. Oh, no. Are track limits a thing? I've thrown it away with a bit of contact on the way into the hairpin. Let's see how many we can get. I'm letting you down, Terry. I'm so sorry. I'm an absolute failure. Ooh, sending it into Stowe. They're going to brake here on the exit, so we're going to sneak down the outside. And we'll send one down the inside. Look at the cars weaving in front to try and find some space. We can't really send it yet. We can't really send it late in the brakes because I don't think we've got the braking power. We're getting hits left, right, and centre. It's absolute pandemonium. What's happening here? Got one driving along the grass, refusing to get back on the track. He's in the gravel. Up on 2 wheels. We'll thread the needle. There you go. That's a proper Clio move. Not going to get many points, though, in this one. Oh. I feel like it's getting to that point where I should start, you know, maybe doing some, like, let's call it like a 10-year re-evaluation of where we are with it. I mean, bearing in mind this is only a very small sample size. But I think this racing, I mean, I've absolutely sent them off without touching them there. This sort of racing has aged fine in that it's still just like it was. Like, it's just a fun, crazy single-player racing experience. The career mode structure works because it keeps you entertained. It's not like incredibly immersive. There's no flashy, you know, cutscenes. There's cool, you know, intro videos to different series, and there is obviously nice progression, tier-based progression there. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's like the most exciting thing ever. It is just better than a lot of other games do career mode. And the invitational events are cool, but they do get a little bit, let's say, time-consuming compared to the progress that you make when you're not doing an invitational. But it's good. And then, yeah, obviously, this kind of racing is just fun. I think when you do qualify, when your AI level is competitive against you, you can have great fun races. And sometimes you kind of fly through a bit too quickly, and other times you're stuck at the back. But it'll also depend on what series you're doing. The good thing is you can adjust your AI level at any point. So if a series, for example, later down the line has AI cars that are too fast and you can't keep up with them, and you don't want to spend ages practicing and doing setup work, you can just lower the AI difficulty and find a level that is enjoyable. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I would be. But I'd be driving differently in PMR though. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, right now I'm very much driving like gung-ho, absolutely go for it, whilst chatting. Whereas when I'm playing PMR, it's going to be like, let's concentrate. It's got modern physics that hopefully will have improved a bit more since I tried the first and only time I've actually had on the game so far, and it's early build. Oh, yeah, I can't get slowed down. This is yeah. We're gonna try that one more time. I'm not good. Yeah. There's other reasons why you'd be broke. Right. Am I optimistic about it? I am optimistic about it, but I am... I'm tempering my excitement and expectation, and I'm optimistic about the game as a whole. I'm apprehensive about the expectation that people are going to have for it, and I'm also apprehensive about what differences or improvements are going to be made to the handling. Because when we tried it briefly in Zurich, we only got to play it for like a very small amount of time. We also had to film a video, so it was a rush situation. We had no control over the hardware, so it felt like some of the steering wheels, for example, the force feedback was very low, and it definitely affected how you drove. So it was kind of hard to judge. But it felt okay. The thing, I think anyone who really liked Project Cars would really like how PMR was feeling. But my caveat to that was there were some specific really weird behaviors with some of the cars. Like the old Lola I thought felt really good. And I said that in our preview video, if you've seen it. I think that was the best experience of the day. I really did like the LMP 900 Audi as well, even though it was a little bit floaty, and the steering wheel I was using, I couldn't tell, the detail wasn't huge there. It felt like it was all turned down a little bit and numbed, but it still felt pretty good. The problem I had was there was a few specific behavioural issues with the GT3 car, which again we spoke about in the video, but it kind of felt like there were certain points where you would turn into a slow corner and it honestly felt like you were on ice. Like there was like this weird balance of where the oversteer would kick in at a point where it felt like it probably shouldn't, and suddenly you would spin or you would have a big moment, and it just felt a little bit too on edge for a GT3 car based on my non-GT3 real-life experience, but more importantly just like how GT3 cars feel in other sims that are highly regarded. And I just felt like that there was something off of the balance there. Just send it. We're not hurting anyone. They're AI cars. It's fine. I was my teammate as well. Oh dear. Yeah. So I don't know. I am like excited, but I have to temper it and see how the game is at launch, and see if the things that they say, oh, that'll be improved or that'll be different, and all of these amazing sounding features, do they actually live up to the hype? Right, pit stop, that's fine. As a woman, why do men desensitize themselves to overpowered FFB? I think it could depend. I think more, like, I tend to run my FFB on my Simucube at around about 40% of its capabilities. I think that there are situations where when you have it a little bit higher, you can feel more of the nuance, because there's a bigger difference between when it's low and when it's high. Like if you amplify everything, it does give you a little bit more control of that sense. But then I think when you lose it, like, I'm not a strong person, and when you lose the car and it's really heavy for no reason, it's just gonna like be really tricky to manage, and also when you're doing longer stints and stuff, it's actually gonna be less comfortable, and it's gonna get tiring. So it's a weird one. There's definitely a balance to be found. I tend to run my force feedback level around about 11 newton meters or something if I can, but I've also used plenty of wheels where the limit is like 7 or 8, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Having driven real race cars, there's a massive variety, right? Some of them are like, the cars with power steering are obviously nice and light, but the feeling is not from the weight of the steering. The feeling is just when you start losing control or you start playing around with the car. The feeling is the sensation through essentially the steering rack and the tires. Whereas with force feedbacks, when it's just really heavy, it depends on whether that's just unnecessary weight or whether it's actually detail. Because sometimes it's like artificially heavy, where it's just literally weight, and it doesn't help anything, and it's not realistic. But sometimes it's just more amplified, like details from the tires and through the steering, which is actually, realistic. And when I've raced a car, or raced a few cars without power steering, and they can get pretty heavy and tiring after a while. So, like an MX-5 Mark 1 doing an endurance race and something like that with no power steering, it gets genuinely, tough if you're not going to the gym and working out and you're really strong. It gets tiring. So there's all sorts of different arguments and nuances you can make, but yeah, I totally agree that it's definitely not a case of like, oh, more weight and force feedback equals better. 100% no. But there are certain occasions where more force feedback is beneficial. But never 20. Like, that's just, it's mental. Maybe as a workout. Yeah, I think Nuti makes a very good point. Like I've driven I've done testing for what used to be when Formula Ford moved to EcoBoost cars. Like when they first put wings on the Formula Ford cars. Oh, there's a car doing a dive bomb. Yeah, look at that. I do not have that level of grip. And yeah, so I was doing like longer test runs and that. And it didn't have power steering, and it was genuinely tiring. Like, and obviously you get used to it, and it would be absolutely fine in the race. But I think I was 16 at the time or something, and I wasn't, training to do a full season of Formula racing. I just had an opportunity, and I was doing some testing for an upcoming series that was looking at happening. But yeah, those cars, like the steering was very heavy. There's no power steering, and after like 5 or 6 laps, when you weren't used to it, it would really begin to take its toll. And it was like, okay, this is probably affecting my performance now, because I'm actually thinking about having tired arms rather than just brake there, turn there. But in a race situation, you just, you feel it, but you ignore it, and you power through. You don't get distracted by it when you're actually racing, because the adrenaline's going. Oh. Because I'm not in the natural flow with this game, if I start thinking too much about other things that aren't exactly the driving that I'm doing at any given moment, once again, like sending it down the inside, and I cannot keep with that at all. As soon as I start getting distracted and thinking about other things, I'm not driving very well, because I'm just not in the flow with this. But if I really like dial in, it can be pretty good. There we go. Yeah, Thierry, I just had no speed into that final section. So that's definitely a consistency we've now seen across Donington, not so much Donington, but Snetterton into the final 2 slow corners, and at Silverstone here, it's really the AI braking into slow corners, and the grip they have at low speed feels unobtainable. But then on the straights they're a bit slower, and through the fast corners they're a bit slower. So that's definitely the misbalance. Yeah, that's also very, very true. Like, heat as well, huge. Like, racing in 28-degree heat. Even I've done endurance racing in the UK where it's been like, high 20s, and even in the UK with a roof on the car is disgusting, and it's very uncomfortable, and it, you end up, I can't explain it, but it's just really, really not nice. Right, we're hanging on to the championship lead, but Valentino is catching us now. 2 rounds to go. Let's see if we've got any more. Let's see what the venues are and see if we've got any more pace. Yeah, Thierry, I think I just need to improve. I just need to get good. What's the next track? Is it worth doing? Hopefully like an Alton Foster's. Yeah, Alton. I was going to check something, wasn't I? There was... So you can see, like, I is for invitational events. So when you're on the calendar, you can see what's a race, what's practice and qualifying, and what's an invitational event. So right now, there's not really. I think you have to do the first season. My memory is after season 1 is when you unlock invitational events. So we're not really seeing them at the moment on the calendar. But is there a way of looking at the tiers? I'm getting more emails, but they're all fairly generic. Driver network profile. Oh, this is cool. So on this Steam account, on this save, I've got 1 hour played. I can't remember what I played this game on the first time around, because obviously it's starting from scratch again here. You've got a focus graph, which you can't quite see, but if I change to full screen, you've got racing, qualifying, and engineering, so it's how much time you spend in each part of the game. So I clearly don't spend any time with engineering. And then you've got the races entered and the wins. That's pretty cool. Online reputation, performance. But it's just completed, penalties incurred, and disqualified. So, yeah. And then here we go. So historic goals. It's you can complete these challenges. So I've obviously not started in tier 8, so 0 to hero is not going to happen. But it's win the LMP1 championship within 10 seasons. Defend a championship for 3 consecutive years. Must be 2 or and above. So that's like staying in a series and defending it a few times, which is a bit of a weird one, but it's obviously a goal for completionists to try and achieve, because in these kind of games, you kind of want to move through the championships a bit. And then the bottom one is win 3 championships in 3 different disciplines. That's a good one. I really like that. So it's like win a touring car, GT, and a Formula Championship, for instance. And then 108 accolades to collect. So you've got all the different championships to win, but you've also got, obviously, the invitational events and stuff. 108 is a lot. I think there are maybe accolades within each of these. And then you get endorsements based on your accolades. So once you get 2 gold accolades, you get an endorsement. I can't quite remember how that works, but it's cool. Oh, yeah, I know. Paint fumes, fuel fumes, and roof is great, yeah. Yeah, you know it too well, unfortunately. And then we've got the invitational events here. Oh, yeah, so here's the invitational ones. So you've got Superkart Nationals, career podiums, laps, all that. So these are all the events that we'll get, but we don't do them in Season 1 of Career. You only get them, I think, in Season 2 or 3. I can't remember. Maybe win a championship in it, you get invited to them. All right, we need to keep powering through. So we're going to skip qualifying, go straight to the race for Alton. We should maybe do like 1 qualifying lap for the last round, but we'll see where we are in the championship heading into the last round. These races are pretty fast, to be fair. Hey, Matthias, how's it going? Good to see you again. So many familiar names in the stream today, and lots of new names as well, which I always love to see. So just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you for joining me on this nostalgia trip. Hopefully you're enjoying looking back over this game, reminiscing over certain parts. I know we can only scratch the surface in a stream like this, because this is a sort of game where you sink hours and hours and hours into it. And trust me, I would love to sit here and do a full career and win a go-karting championship and then qualify and do everything, but sadly it is not the case for today's stream. But yeah, good to hear, Matthias. Yeah, max graphics, dark stars, or at least like the high preset. Don't know if I've maxed out every individual setting. Okay, back of the grid, Alton Park. Let's just send it. Oh, cool. Good to hear. So you've never seen this game before. I guess no one really makes YouTube videos on Project Cars these days for understandable reasons, right? So I do like these nostalgia trips for that reason, because I know that some of you are watching because you love this game. Some of you are watching because you've never seen it before. So I always love introducing people to new old games. I wish I was doing a bit more justice with my driving, but it's not easy. Like, this game is not an easy game to be fast in straight out of the box. The Clio is a lot easier than some of the other ones, but still presents a challenge. Alright, it's the short Alton, so we can't even send it down inside under brakes because we don't have the braking performance. Try and get a good run here. I feel like they are going to brake unnecessarily because it's not a slow corner. That's fine. Right. We need points and positions, and then we'll probably qualify for the season finale. Right, fast corner means we should gain. Come on. Oh, gonna get squeezed, but we're gonna keep the foot in it. Nice. Right, P13. If I can get top 10, I'll get points. You don't get that many points lower down. You really need to be top 8 to get decent points. So race 2, I will do my best, but hopefully I think we've got good pace around Dalton, comparatively. Look how good this is, though. Like, the sun, I love the glares. I remember that as well when it came out. The graphics have always been one of the strong points of this game, and performance was always pretty good as well, relatively, I'd say. Nice. P11. Yeah, it's good. It's really good in my opinion. The glow, just the overall look that, you know, I also really enjoy the chaos of the AI. Like, they're really going for it. Like, running side by side, they're off the circuit, they're all over the joint. Like I am, to be fair, but you know, the aggression is there. And it's just cool to see. Now, I can't really do anything there unless I just focus on the exit, which is what I'm going to do. Come on, it's going to be P10. If I can just get this run. Right, and then we'll need to do bits here in the feature race, because I think we're going to lose our championship lead after that one. Oh, Ian's here as well. Does this bring back good memories or bad, Ian? Stress or happiness? Because it... it's bringing back chaos to me. Yeah, we're still leading the championship, 11 points. Oh, I always say nice things. Honest and nice things. Yeah, I mean, so there are definitely things that... Project Cars has always been a game that where it does certain things very, very well. And then there are certain things where you just feel like you just wish that was a bit better, or you wish the AI didn't do that, or you wish, you know, that particular car handled a bit differently. But, you know, I just remember the journey from, we talked about it earlier in the stream, but that journey from, you know, the crowdfunding and hearing about this project as a kid, and just, you know, waiting to see progress on it and all the changes that went on through the time. But it was so exciting. Seeing it going from like an idea that everyone was just keen to get off the ground to a kind of final product that so many people have enjoyed. But I do think that this game does get forgotten about a little bit because of Project Cars 2, because Project Cars 2 came about not long after and sort of just improved it in a lot of areas that made it, you know, Project Cars 1 a little bit redundant. Ooh. Oh, that was very, very close. But Ian, why did you make the AI car so good at under braking and through slow corners? Why? I need them to be bad right now. Or you just need to give me a more grip. Times 1.5 on the grip, please. Right, I think we're better at Alton than we were in the last two venues, I would say, in terms of competitiveness. Now, we've got a pit stop, which also, I think, helps us versus the AI. But the problem is, as soon as they spread out a bit, they actually start behaving themselves and stopping making those chaotic mistakes. Oh, and it's raining as well. Oh, I cannot deal with the understeer. I think the wipers are on, so it's definitely raining. Look at the left. And look at that. So even in a compressed race, 5 laps, similar to earlier, you actually get, you know, accelerated rain effects and drying out lines, which really makes strategy come into it. When do you come in and change tyres? And I think I'm going to come in and put wets on, and the engineer agrees. I think we'll see a lot of the AI cars in for wets as well on this lap. Ooh. Oh. What? Excuse me. Hey, we're gonna take our wins when we can get them. Right, wets. We're on wets all round. Perfect. The game's done it for us. We don't really need fuel, so let's just go with that. Right, come on. Let's hope we can get out there and have some pace on the wets. cheers, Ian. Enjoy your day, and good luck with everything coming up this year. And we will obviously be paying very close attention to everything that comes out and all the information. So, yeah. Okay, we've jumped quite a few in the pits, as we did last time as well. And we're on the right tyres at the right time for the conditions. Yeah, the wheel support, Alex. I can only say what I know. So I can only speak from the experience of this particular wheel. This is the first time I've played this game since probably playing the PS4 version, just to try it out again, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And the Simucube 2 Pro works perfectly, which is with custom wheel setup, and it was very, very easy to plug in. It was easy to like assign buttons for, and it just worked. And then as soon as I got it on track, it felt good. I just needed to make a few FFB changes. I know we talked earlier about FFB strength and everything. I basically had to turn down the tire effect because it was too heavy. So I didn't want to lose force feedback quality, and I didn't want to lose the force feedback performance, but the steering was just way too heavy and weighted, and it's because by default the tire weight was set to 1.0, and I wanted to set it, I think I found a sweet spot about 0.7. I can't remember what the setting was called, tire or something anyway. But so there was basically I made one small tweak in reality. I made two small tweaks. I slightly turned down one of the damping settings without even knowing what it was going to do, just because I always don't like damping. And yeah, it feels good. Like, I'm getting pretty good information. It's not as, let's say, complex as a modern LMU or an iRacing, the usual suspects of top-end performance, which is understandable. But you can still feel the road surfaces. The curbs feel nice. You can feel when the car's understeering. You can catch the oversteer. I think when I was driving the rear-wheel drive cars earlier, the fact that I was struggling with them and not finding them supernatural, and it was the same with the Formula car, wasn't to do with the force feedback. It was definitely to do with the physics and the way the car was behaving. Like, it wasn't to do with how the feeling was translating through the wheel. The wet weather driving, honestly, it feels like the dry driving, but slightly slower. Like, it doesn't... And that's just from just from doing these 2 wet races today. I'm on wet tyres now, and it looks like a dry track again. Just from that small experience there, it doesn't really feel much different. It just feels like you have to do things a little bit slower, and there was no, like, strange behaviours. I think Project Cars was good where when it rained really heavily and you drive through puddles, you do aquaplane and stuff, which is really cool. And it was, as I said earlier, the weather was always kind of ahead of its time. But just the general wet weather driving it's not super nuanced. It's just like, oh, you don't have as much grip, cool. And now I think because technically we're on wet, I'm not really feeling... It doesn't really feel like we're on wet tyres. It feels kind of like it did on the dry tyres, but yeah. Thank you, Thierry. I've appreciated you having me as my my race engineer in this one, Thierry. You've very much earned the top fan badge for this stream. All the moral support. Right. Alright, will do. Oh no, I won't, because that was the last lap. I thought there was another one to go. Okay, where did my championship rival finish? That's all that matters. Did he win? No. Oh, he was outside the top 9. Oh, okay. We're hanging on. I even got the fastest lap. Look how close the fastest laps are between me and the AI race 1 and 2. That's pretty cool. I've got 3 points championship lead ahead of Jonathan Pravidi. 2 wins apiece. So it all goes down to the last round. 3 points in it. We're going to do... Maybe we'll do like a very quick qualifying lap for the season finale. And then we'll do this. And we'll see what the options are for the next season of career mode. And that's probably where we'll call it for this one. But we'll just see. We'll see what happens. So it's Brands Hatch. Probably going to be Indy. Let's get straight out. We'll do no restarts. Just to add a bit of tension, a bit of jeopardy. Yeah, the PS4 version is pretty fun, Paul. As I say, I played it myself a while back. I can't even remember why, because I'd already played it on PC, just to remind myself what it was like again. I think it was the only racing game I had PS4 access to at the time. If we do... Yeah, if we just do like 2 qualifying laps here, we'll have a proper race at the front of the field. And then if the balancing... Because I think Brands Hatch might not suit us as a track versus AI. So I think we can have a treat this properly, essentially. See if we can win a championship. Yeah, so Daniel, if you want the context of it, like we did a brief summary of it in our Project Motor Racing first impressions video. Just briefly, we touched upon the history and GTR, GTR2, and then obviously we didn't cover it all because there's other things in there that Need for Speed Shift 2. You've also got all the other slightly mad projects like the Fast and Furious Crossroads game and stuff, which is maybe the less said the better. Oh, it's Brands GP. I thought it was going to be Indy because it's all short circuits. Interesting. So we've got a proper Brands GP season finale. Let's see, if I focus in here and really focus on the driving, think about the driving, can I get it to look like I'm actually driving a Renault Clio in a modern sim? Because obviously a lot of the time when I'm sliding into the corners, it's, even though it is accurate that the rear steps out, it's not obviously good for a driver who's leading the championship to be doing that at every corner. That's not, it happens sometimes when you make a mistake, but not regularly. So if I really focus in for a lap, can I actually get this car behaving like it should? We'll find out. So I will be a little bit tentative. That was almost invalid, I'm sure. Once again, amazing glares. Sun rays. Bit of unwanted oversteer on the way in, but it's not so bad. It's all feeling a little bit more natural again, just when you really, I guess, stop over driving a little bit there. Okay, that's pretty... The rear just stepped out very easily once again. That wasn't great. I honestly thought it would be Indy because it's short, and this championship is like an early... It's what the first... car championship you get to, so I thought it would just maybe it'd be all short circuits, but obviously the real life Renault Clio championship used to follow at this time the British touring cars, or maybe by this point it was already off the package, but I think it was still on the package at this stage. One of my old sim racing teammates at the time was actually competing in the championship. Ben Davis, his brother, was racing supercarts and Volkswagen Cup, and Ben was racing in Clios. Yeah, it's the Merc F1 wheel. Yes. Right. P4. Alright. It's on. Excellent. So I'm not P1 in qualifying. It wasn't a perfect lap, but it wasn't bad. Let's do one more, so we've got a position for the second race as well. And then we're just going to treat this like the proper Brands Hatch GP season finale that it should be. Obviously, your fastest lap counts towards race 1 grid. Your second fastest lap counts towards race 2 grid. I can't believe that's not invalidated. Oh, I'm dropping like a fly now through the order. P8. I'm trying to drive sensibly though, not necessarily just as fast as I can, because by going faster and pushing more, I'm probably going to have more big slides. Whoa. Just 10th and a half up, so it's not going to be a massive jump, but it's going to be something. It means that the first lap will be used for race 2 grid setting. Faster is faster, yeah. Nice. Come on. Yeah, good through the last corner. Really good. The race interesting. So the rear camber needs to be reduced. Ah, yeah, okay. Well, I can do that. I can actually do that. We've gone P3. We're going to return to the pit box. Let's make those changes. We're gonna use your advice on the fly and see if it saves us here. So tire and brakes. What categories do we have? Aerodynamic and chassis, alignment. So there you go. There you go. So let's reduce the rear camber. We're just gonna go like quite extreme on this. Anything else? I mean, yeah. Let's see what happens. This was the settings, by the way. So the this is not the settings that I had earlier. This is different force feedback settings. It must have been advanced force feedback settings that I changed, because I don't remember masters. That's like car specific force feedback settings. Interesting. There's so many things that you can discover here. All right, and then you've got the kind of summary. Good way of doing setups, I think. Having like an overall summary that you can view, and at a glance you can go, all right, that's not right, or that doesn't match, and then you go and find the setting. But you can see it on one screen. Very, very cool. Yeah, we've gone a bit mad on the rear camber. So let's see if it helps. We'll click save, so you can save your setups. We will progress the session to the end. P6 for race 1 then. And we're only, I mean, look at the times. 37.8 for pole, and I was a 37.9, and I'm 6th. So my championship rival's 2nd. This is perfectly teed up, guys, for like a fun, immersive season finale. And this is what it's all about. Like, this is when I used to play career modes on these sorts of games when I was a kid. For me, it was all about like replicating that feeling of committing to a full season and actually having to work for your wins and keep your championship alive and not make mistakes. And I've obviously got no restarts this time, so I can't jump the start or anything. So yeah, this is what it's all about. And look, we've even got like a sunset finale at Brands Hatch, which is going to look stunning.
Forget about qualifying. The only thing that matters now is the start. Make a good one.
Oh. Almost, I literally was rolling there because we were on a slope. So I'm really glad I caught that and hit the brakes so we don't get a jump start. It's been an amazing launch. Okay, so our championship rival, I think, is in that black car. No, in fact, I think they're P1. Let me just check. If I can get to P2, I can tell. Yeah, okay. So the main rival is first here. So this is literally a head-to-head battle. 2 races to go, obviously. It's only 2 laps, this first one. Look at that. Look how beautiful this is. Like, that is the... Oh, no. Almost gone off because of it. That is, when I was talking earlier about the menus and the kind of the feeling that a game gives you, you know, sometimes you get lost in authenticity, but some games feel a little bit robotic or stale, and other games give you that sense of, like, what was the word I used? Joie de vivre? I can't remember. Would be appropriate for the Clios, but that beautiful sunset, regardless of exactly how realistic it is, just racing in that is awesome. And its interaction with the road and the reflections, like, this is a 10-year-old game, and this is why Project Cars is revered so much, and AMS2 with the same engine is revered for the way it looks, really. It's just those individual special moments, let's say. Yeah. Oh, I've been hit off. No! No, 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 no. That was the same situation with the AI where, you know, they could just brake late into that last corner and send it. So, we're back to where we started, guys. Oh, there's another one. Can't really do much about it unless I just completely block the inside, but then I'm very compromised. we can do it to them, but that was too much. Oh, and they've done it to me again. Look. Oh, no. It's disastrous for the championship. I'm blind. It actually hurts your eyes. The car isn't snapping as extremely, though. I think the setup change has made a subtle difference. I'm dishing it out, Jay. I'm tired of being bullied around by these AI cars. It's time to start bullying non-existent racing drivers. Or maybe I'm just getting desperate. Maybe I'm channeling my inner desperate touring car driver on the final day of a season. Can we make some clean moves, though? I mean, this is the thing. Don't worry. I wouldn't do that if it was online. Right. We've sent it to the inside, because that's what they did to me. That one was actually pretty clean. P7. It's something. Right. We're going to lose the championship lead here, but there's another race to go. So it's absolutely not over. And I think we'll be starting quite highly in this race because our 2 qualifying laps weren't too dissimilar. Resafe jointly. Hey Jay, yeah, I saw you in earlier. Nice to see you again. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you've had a good few weeks, Jay. Oh, it's a race win for the rival. Jonathan. So we're 13 points down. It's going to be a tough order to win, but we should be secure in P2 at least, unless I have a nightmare and Marcos wins. This is it. Final race. It's middle of the day. No more sunset. Also, hey Alan, good to see you again. Welcome back to the stream. We're nearing the end of this one, but it's been really, really fun to revisit this game. Okay, we are quite far back on the grid, but good start. Now, is that yellow car up on the front row Jonathan? I think it probably is. Nice. Good start. We'll take the outside there. Yes. If I can find my rhythm here and find a way to drive these cars quickly. That was pretty good. Live spotting in the comments. I hadn't even clocked when I played this back in the day that it was Ben Collins on the engineer. But then again, you didn't really know not as many people knew what Ben Collins sounded like back at this point. 2015. Ugh. He wasn't as famous as he is now, of course, but he was still. I mean, he was known in racing circles, like, you know. I knew Ben Collins was very much whilst he was the Stig, but I didn't know he was the Stig. It was always a rumor, wasn't it? Right, I'm going to turn in early so I don't get bullied out wide. Just hanging onto the road. I'm going to lose one spot, though. That's the key as well, is just getting in early so you don't allow an AI car to send one down the inside and just bump you off. Try the cut back. There we go. Right. Unfortunately, I think that's Jonathan up in P1 again, so I don't think the championship's going to be ours unless something dramatic happens. Unless we soper him. Board on right. Which boards? I'm too late. I appreciate the code right. I appreciate the pace notes. Which board do I need to smash for the points? Which wheel settings do you mean? Do you mean the in-game assignments or the force feedback? I'm pushing. I'm trying. We're always getting told to box on lap 2, I think. But I'm gonna. I think because I've got a clean run in this lap, I might just keep. I might pit the next one, just because. 2 points for fastest lap, and if I can get it, you know, if there's a chance, then. Oh, leaders are all in. Okay. Time to push. Not the fastest lap. I haven't even seen the NVIDIA boards to smash. Oh, I can't get over to... No, I can't get over fast enough. False hope of a P1 in the championship is at stake here.
You're leading by 1 second. Good job.
I'm doing everything I can. Yeah, this foggy, the Har, the London Har from Brands Hatch. Authentic. Oh, so you're still seeing the sun, the burst coming through though. All of the AstroTurf, every single bit of road I can. Cutting the corner. Oh, okay, lap time's invalid. But it didn't give me a penalty at least. And I'm coming in anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll go for fastest lap again in the last lap. Thank you, Cactus. Welcome back. Ooh. Commitment into the pits. Oh, yeah, sure. We got away with it. Can we take less fuel, please? I don't need 25 laps of fuel. I don't know if this does anything. Commitment. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the nostalgia. Paul, yes, this is the PC version. This is just the version on Steam that I still own from back in the day. Although because I guess because I've uninstalled it for so many years, all my stats aren't really saved, but I can't even remember how I played it originally, if it was Steam or if it was different. But I'm guessing it was Steam because I do have it. Yeah, yeah, you could just exactly. You could just commit into the pit lane flat out. You don't need to worry about crashing. Yeah, and you're not wrong about the bugs. That is... Oh, no, that's Jonathan. Guys, I'm not going to win the championship. Like, this is... I need Jonathan to finish, like, 6th or something, and I need to win, and he's ahead of me, and he's faster than me. And I'm locking up. Oh. Ow. Thank you. Where's Michael Massey when you need him? We need a safety car. Has anyone got any contacts? I will do my best. I will do my best to be the lightning. But I have my limits, my capability limits. There's the moon again. Right, come on. One last push lap. See if I can salvage anything. This has been good though. Like this is competitive. This is I'm having to drive as hard as I can to try and win this, and I'm not gonna. Like, but obviously if I'd have qualified more in this championship, I would have won it. I would have won the championship even on the highest difficulty if I'd have qualified more. So it, you know, as much as it's frustrating that in certain places I just don't have the grip that the AI do, it still worked out to be a fun and exciting championship, and that's exactly what I said about this at the time and what I thought about it when I was playing it back in the day. It's like, it didn't really matter that it wasn't as realistic to drive as R Factor. or even iRacing. I mean, 10 years ago is a long time ago, but iRacing's been around for way longer. It didn't really matter, because if like, for me anyway, I was playing this game to have fun and have like a career mode that I could try and fight my way through the series and drive lots of different cars. I wasn't looking for the ultimate sim racing experience at the time. It's good enough to be fun, as long as you know what it is and you're not trying to compare it to some of these other things. But it's just immersive and exciting, just trying to win this championship and chase down the AI, even though it's a bit kind of inconsistent with its delivery of it. I love that you could see the sun and the moon like on every race at every time as well. Like it's just overly dramatic, and I don't mind it because it just looks awesome, and who cares? Right, this is a good lap. 210s up in my PB. I'm giving it absolutely everything. I've not really made any mistakes. Maybe we can grab fastest lap. I think it's going to be close, but I did not have the pace in qualifying, so I was only a 10th off. I think Jonathan's been pretty much the same speed, if not slightly quicker, since we came out of the pits. Keep it on this. Yes, just. Right, 1:37.8. I don't know. Don't know if I've done enough. Nope. I did get fastest lap though. 30 points, so I did get fastest lap. Hey, I'll take it. It's second of the championship though, so we'll see what offers we get and how the progression works. Look at that, 37.8 for fastest lap on both races and qualifying, and so yeah, speed wise we were right there, perfect difficulty in terms of speed. And I was pushing. Like, I was really trying. But yeah, Jonathan, well done. The better John won. 4 wins at the end of the day. And Donington was like a little false sense of security where I thought I had this in the bag. Thought I had it covered, and I didn't. Okay, here we go then. So you've reached the end of this season. Please review your contract offers and sign a new contract to continue with the next season. So this is what happens. We finished second. We didn't win, but we're still going to get contract offers. We don't have to win to progress or unlock. So, I've got 10 emails here. Now, lots of these are just emails from my team. All the best for the last race. Ronnie says, that was pretty close, great drive. So close, it was a struggle this season and we just missed out, but I think it's clear where we need to make improvements. Yeah, that's fine. You had your heart on being champion and we all feel for you. Still though, we know where there are some improvements to be made, so let's concentrate on those in pre-season testing. For now, you've earned a well-deserved break. See, it's great. And people are like, I didn't win, but they're not like taking a dump on me and saying like, you're rubbish, go home. It's like, no, decent effort, podium, well done. Tough, but okay. Okay, so we've been offered to renew our contract in Clio, so we can go and do it again and try and win the championship, tick off that accolade if we want to, try and get the crown. We've got a backwards offer here from Asphalt Thunder to go karting, so we could go and accept a karting contract, which we don't want to do. In fact, is that all we've got? Oh no. Oh no. I know it doesn't really matter for this stream, but all we've got is a karting offer and a Clio Cup contract renewal offer. So, yeah, we need to win. That's a bombshell. That's I'll tell you what. I appreciate the challenge. I don't think I'm going to take up the karting offer because then I'm just dropping down a couple of tiers. So if we were doing this properly, I think we'd be renewing our contract in the Clios and we'd be doing qualifying and trying to win the championship. I really did think, and we get the video again, which you don't need to see, I really did think that we would unlock at least an offer in something else. I want to see the tier system. I want to see the tiers again. I don't know if you can. Can you view the tiers? Oh, I like Driver 69's comment there. A bit topical at the moment. Oh. This has been good fun, guys. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. shame we didn't get that contract offer. I'm not seeing invitational events yet, but look, it would just be straight into round 1 again, Donington, so I'm pretty sure it would be the same championship again. We just try and win it. Same team and everything. I would like to have another look at the tiers in career, which we can do by creating a new one. So if I just back out for a second, there might be another way of doing this. But if we just call ourselves TG and then hit continue. Oh no, we have to nickname ourselves as well. And pick a car number and pick a nationality. I'm from Argentina for this example. Yeah, so here are the tiers just as a reminder. So yeah, Kart 1 is obviously what we got the offer for, which is tier 8. So it was really a backward step. Now I was hoping that because we came second in the championship, even if we didn't get a really good offer to like jump up to tier 4, I was thinking we might get one offer for tier 5, and I was thinking that I'd probably get an offer to drive in the other tier 6 series. But clearly that wasn't the case. So we were in touring there, and I really did think they might go, oh, well, you did well, but you didn't win, so let's allow you to sidestep, or maybe one chance at an upgrade. I think the GT5s was Ginetta's, if I remember, and it was great. Formula Golf is tier 5 as well. So that was the car we obviously drove earlier. So if you take the Formula route, you go Formula Rookie, which is Formula Ford, Formula Golf 1000, Formula 3, Formula 2, and Formula 1, C, B, and A. That is, that's a good, to me that's like a good straightforward system, and there's nothing wrong with that. A nice balance of cars. You've got the no downforce, and then obviously you just work your way up from like a national Formula car. That was like, Formula Golf is a real series as well, or it might be called something slightly different, but those cars were real. And then Formula C, B, and A obviously, and then tier 1 is on its own, but we'll get back to that. Obviously, the touring car and GT route is combined through tier 6 and 5, because you get a touring car go, and then you get the kind of equivalent slow GT car with the Ginetta, and then you can pick whether to go for like GTs or prototypes. So it does make a lot of sense. GT4, GT3, Endurance Series, which I'm guessing is a multi-class or something. I'm not quite sure. And then obviously you've got the different prototype series. So prototype 1 will be, I would think, like your Caterham and your Radical. So you can, if you start a new career, just pick a series and go for it, right? So you can just race in like, there's, yeah, an offer with Jet Dog in the Radical SR3. And you've also got offers in the Palmer, Jaguar. So yeah, that is what that is. And then you've got Prototype 2, LMP2. So Prototype 2 is like the other Radical, the SRX8 and the Caterham. Okay, there you go. LMP2 and LMP1. What's Endurance Series? GT4, Orica. So yeah, multi-class. Multi-class LMP2 and GT4 by the looks of it. And then LMP1 is the top tier. It is a bit strange, isn't it, that F1 was tier 2, but it's just because LMP1 was like the holy grail. There must be a reason for that. Hey McMaxa, welcome to the stream. I'm really sorry you've joined when I'm just about to finish up, but it's lovely to see your name in there. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, hopefully all of you who are big hardcore sim racers these days and are possibly playing LMU are going to enjoy next week. It's going to be fun seeing how we get on with the full game release. And there's plenty of other good stuff happening here. I'm just looking at the LMP1 offers. You've got the offer from Marek and RWD, but not an offer from Audi, which is interesting. So you probably have to earn the offer from Audi by winning or doing well. So yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking as well, Creeper Green. I was thinking maybe because Audi are there, it's like, oh, let's make that the premium, and maybe that's why Audi came on board. Like maybe we should have asked Ian when he was here, but maybe Audi were like, well, if we're going to put our modern prototype in the game, it needs to be like the champion car or something. I'm not sure, but it kind of encapsulates everything, and I guess it's the only LMP1 is kind of the only tier that sort of fits correctly in front of all of the tier 2 championships. So like LMP1 is what is now Hypercar, is actually a realistic place to go after a Formula 1 career, and it's also as a like, you know, you've been in F1, you do a Jenson Button or a Bourdais or a, you know, Nick De Vries or Kobayashi, you jump into then LMP1 is like your after F1 career, but it's also an after LMP2 or endurance career for up and coming drivers who are looking to get manufacturer contracts and stuff. So to me, LMP1 actually works quite well as tier 1 because it's either your journeyman or after career F1 seat, or you're after, you know, young driver making progression through GTs and sports cars. So I think that's actually really cool. So yeah. And maybe, yeah, maybe because F1 isn't actually the pinnacle of racing. Ooh. Hey, there is no pinnacle of racing, right? F1's the pinnacle of global single-seaters. IndyCar's the pinnacle of American open-wheelers. NASCAR's the pinnacle of American closed-top, you know, supercars, whatever it is. British touring cars is the pinnacle. It doesn't matter. Everything's got a pinnacle. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at Project Cars, whether you're new to it or whether you're having a nostalgic trip down memory lane like I am. It's been great fun. The game stacks up really well. There are flaws, of course. The handling is okay. It's better in some cars than others. The force feedback is pretty decent. The game looks amazing. The racing's great fun, although the AI are they're consistently inconsistent in the way that they drive. But you can have a great fun championship, a great fun immersive career mode that's not super in-depth, but having the contract offers and the tier system is great. So yeah, all in all, it's been great. Love doing the revisiting, and obviously it's maybe we do this for Project Cars 2. It makes sense because Project Motor Racing is coming, so you'll have to keep an eye on the channel to see more content on Project Motor Racing, and obviously keep an eye on the Traxion website as well to see more news and features for that game as we know more. The game will be coming later this year, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get our hands on it before it is released as well. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel. Subscribe, of course, if you don't want to miss any of the videos, and if you want to catch more of our nostalgia trips, you can also subscribe to do that too. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our uploads or streams. Leave us a like if you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for all of your comments. The engagement's been amazing. And yeah, Project Cars 2 we will definitely visit at some point in a stream. Maybe we wait a couple of years and do it as a 10-year stream. Maybe not. Because it's still got a lot of relevance today and a lot of people love it. So yeah. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Le Mans Ultimate next week. Enjoy whatever you're doing this week. And we'll see you soon. Bye. Fine cost, you're not too late. I'm still here. Hello and welcome to the end. This is not Project Cars 2. This is a lovely animated video that Ozzy made of the Nordschleife on board of the front of a DTM car with the text "Thanks for watching" over the top and some music. But don't worry, you're not too late. You can still have a great weekend, and you can still watch the stream back. It's all good. But I appreciate you joining anyway. And I hope you have a great weekend too. Goodbye again.